Woo! You're talking about all man. You're talking about all man.
I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night, wherever you're watching this transmission, whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky to your camper in the woods, or just couch surfing, or maybe on your next road trip. That means you're in America. Or relaxing on your lazy boy. That means you're in Canada, because it's on lockdown still. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It is 3 a.m. and something is moving you. So crack open a window, sit back, relax, get some coffee or tea or coffee, or coffee, tea, or me, because you're tuned in to Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Hashtag Mike in the Night. Track by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. And today we're going to be taking open lines, first-time callers, and we're going to be discussing things that are happening in your local area, how you're being affected by whatever crisis is in your area. What's the crisis of the week in your area? What is the crisis, or what are they trying to feed you in your area? People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. We got the Raven sitting at the Tim Hortons in his split window 1963 Corvette. He sent me some photos, so I'll show you guys some photos in a few minutes here. And channel disclaimer before we kick it off. We do not offer investment advice or medical advice. We are opinion driven. We do not know anything, and we cannot even read. This, due to the poor quality of this video, it should never be viewed by anyone ever. So there you go. You've been warned. Shouldn't be watching this ever. All right, the comments are starting to roll out. We got Art and Soul in the house. We got Kiwi Fell in the house. Eating Easter eggs. Nice. I want to wish everybody out there, especially out in this the southern hemisphere there in Australia, New Zealand, I want to wish everybody a happy Easter. And I want to wish everybody here a happy Easter in the next couple of hours here. People on the East Coast, you're still a couple hours away from Easter morning. So anyways, what do we got here? Do you eat marshmallow or Easter eggs? Are you saying? Yes, we do. In Canada, we do eat all kinds of Easter eggs and Easter rabbit chocolates, but most importantly, we do try to make it to a church. Unfortunately, the churches are undergoing this massive overhaul, so to say. Overhaul.
You're talking about all man.
Yeah. Overhaul that we're dealing with here with this new reformation. The new reformation that we're dealing with that nobody even knows. Like, I think our governments don't even know if they're tricking or treating. They have no idea what they're doing. But that's okay, because someone in charge out there knows what's going on. So what are they trying to feed you in your neck of the woods? So add me on Skype, Mike Martins 1980. It's on the bottom there, on the bottom of the screen, Mike Martins 1980 on Skype. And I'd like to have first-time callers on the show today, just to hear basically what's happening. So we got Per Grosso in the house. We got Linny Poo in the house. Blunt News in the house. Jay Borg in the house. So, everyone talking about chocolate in the comment section. I want to thank a lot of the truckers that are picking up this restreaming or downloading the Mike in the Night show and replaying it on long drives. Yeah, the show is 3 hours long, and there are things that we do talk about that might interest people over the long haul. You get it? Long haul driving, trucking. Yeah, I'm not funny. Woo! I'm not funny. But anyways, okay, no big deal. No big deal. Hope everybody out there's doing well.
When was the last time anybody saw us beating, let's say, China?
All right, guys, let's go over a quick channel plug, and then from there we're going to go into some of the headlines in the news. Hopefully, Supreme Cannon's computer is up and running, and I asked him to join me if he could join us tonight. So we got... someone's having Easter masa. Yeah, I have Easter masa too. We have my mom made some. She makes it every year for Easter. So if you're Portuguese, you know what masa is, right? All right, let's go into channel plug real quick, and then we're going to get into some headlines in the news. All right, guys, please don't forget to subscribe and be part of the channel. And don't forget to set your reminders on the channel here, if you don't mind. Guys, Peter Leeds is coming on. Peter Leeds is going to be coming on the show, and I really hope that you guys could all set your reminders for this one. And Peter Leeds will be coming on next Mike in the Night 2. So he's coming on 2 shows, and this is going to be Peter Leeds Unplugged, and we're going to get into more of a darker end or a darker view of what is happening, right? Or a darker, let's just say, not so fancy. All right, guys, don't forget to buy something off Teespring. And, guys, if you don't mind, follow me on Facebook. I don't even care if you follow me here anymore. Every time I post something, not even one person sees it out of 114,000 followers. And if you want to send me something, I've been getting messages that have been censored, but I've been getting through to them. On Instagram, not unblocked, but I allowed like 30 people to message me, and I didn't know they were messaging me because they were holding the messages back on Instagram too. So I don't know why they want to limit the people that or why they think I might not know somebody. And don't forget to check artbydano.com, not your typical art, artbydano.com. He's got all kinds of cool stuff on this place. And I am going to take my time this weekend with the wife and find some pretty cool stuff. And he's got some sandals here from last time I saw, and beach towels and phone cases. That's not bad. Not bad at all for those amazing caricatures. And he does masks too. All right, guys. And music by Ralphie.co.New Zealand. Check him out. Check out his website. Check out what he's got going on. He's got a lot going on, and does our music and is on the show occasionally. I think it's like the tail end of summer, or summer's ending in the Southern Hemisphere, so he's enjoying what little time left after the last lockdown in New Zealand. I don't even know. So that's it, guys. Mike in the Night. So let's get into some of the news here. Let's see if we can get Supremo on. I kind of want to get Supremo on the show just to get his input on some of this stuff here. And it's good to get a second opinion. That's why you got a color commentator. Is that what they call it? I don't even know what it's called anymore, but what you're allowed to call it anymore. Let's see if he picks up the phone.
Hola, Miguel.
Hey, Supreme, what's up, buddy?
Oh, this and that, you know.
Happy Easter, buddy.
Happy Easter to you, too. How's it going for you?
It's going good. The weather's nice. I got the window cracked open halfway here, letting a nice breeze in while I do Mike in the Night.
It is nice. It is nice. I was just rebooting this thing, so I'm just bringing up YouTube right now.
Yeah, there's no rush. There's a lag anyway on the.
Okay. Yeah, there's a delay anyway. Yeah.
Someone's asking, hey, Mike, how much is a leg of New Zealand lamb in Canada currently? I don't think we're qualified to get New Zealand lamb here in Canada.
I don't think we've ever had that here.
No, that's probably really top end lamb leg. Woo!
Oh, I would think so. From New Zealand, yeah. I can't say I've ever seen it in any grocery stores around here.
I trade a bag of high grade tobacco for a lamb leg.
So would I, to be honest.
Okay.
Passover lamb.
Passover, yeah. Oh man, especially when it's medium, when it's cooked medium, it's not overcooked. All that taste you get.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it can be pretty good, but I never really cared for it. So
right
yeah.
on. Well,
No.
yeah. All right, let's go to full screen here. We're gonna go over a few articles if you don't mind. Supreme's gonna be tagging along for the news before we start getting in some first time callers, and then the Raven promised he'd come on and go full kook for 30 minutes.
Oh, good. Yes.
For 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
We're over.
Without breathing.
John, you bet. Yeah.
All right,
let's
go into some top stories that are, I guess they're feeding us today. Dollar share of global reserve tumbles to the lowest since 1995 as the yuan hits the all-time high. That's scary news.
Yes, it is. It's scary for a lot of reasons, but it's inevitable, isn't it? A lot of people are trying to get out of the U.S. dollar, and for obvious reasons, especially with all these absolutely lunatic spending plans that they have now. But I think they're not ready to go to the renminbi. They're just not ready to do it. I mean, they don't trust the Chinese. The Chinese have their own problems, obviously.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just we're not there yet. But yeah, that's where people want to go. At least get away from the greenback.
Yeah, and I know that Russia has been full force with getting off of the greenback, and so has, I think it was Pakistan, and I think obviously Iran, your typical.
Yeah. Oil producing countries and countries. It's not just the dollar. I don't think it's the export of American culture into these nations as well that they're trying to resist. Because let's face it, I mean, wherever the flag goes, that's where trade goes, or vice versa. And wherever it seems trade goes with the U.S., you get Hollywood and you get all this other filth and nonsense, and it just disintegrates societies, and people are actively resisting it.
And if
you want independence.
But if you decide to go against the greenback, they're going to have to send you freedom.
They're going to send you freedom about 1,000 laser guided pounds at a time. So yeah, as much as possible. You're treading a fine line in that world, no question about it. Because yeah, anywhere where a U.S. carrier can go, yeah, they're going to remind you that there's still the arsenal of democracy, right? Yeah.
Next, well, listen to this. This is why I was never pro Apple. Apple knowingly sold defective MacBook Pros, says California judge. When Apple launched a new butterfly keyboard with the Mac Pro Book some years ago, it was slapped with a class action lawsuit for its defective keyboards. Now a second class action lawsuit could be in the making, called Flexgate. So, I mean, why are these, like, we're limiting the amount of big companies that free markets to come in the market and compete, because these conglomerates just buy them up if they get good, and there's less and less competition out there now, and if you get something defective, well, that's too bad.
It is a problem, and that's part of it. Yeah, I mean, it's been part of computer culture even since the mid '80s, right? Like Microsoft was famous for putting out incomplete products and then basically letting customer feedback tell them how to correct it, which is the stupidest possible business model you can imagine. But when they made their marriage with IBM to become the exclusive operating system for the original PC, I mean, it was just an incredible competitive advantage out the gate, and anybody else was a distant second. I mean, there's been Dell, there's been Gateway. Remember the box with the cow, black and white spots on it.
But people line up around the building to buy this stuff when it comes out.
Well, they do. That's marketing. I mean, it's kind of a pseudo community. Why would people line up outside sometimes for days to buy the newest iPhone when it came out? Why would they do that? That's marketing. And a sense of tribalism. The thing about a company as huge as Apple is they still market themselves in some way the way Pepsi Cola does in its continual war with Coke, right? They're this scrappy underdog with the better product,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's the same with Apple. It's the same deal. It's like the difference between liberals and conservatives. Liberals still believe they're the scrappy underdog fighting, quote unquote, the man. And it's nonsense. They've been in control for 60 years.
You're talking about
But it works.
all
People buy
men.
into it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something easy to do, right? And people like their they like their gadgets. They like their bells and whistles and their tchotchkes. I mean, there's container ships full of this stuff rolling in all the time. Nobody needs it, but they can have it, so they buy it. You can't sustain a permanent economic system on it, but for the time being, we're stuck with it.
Yeah. All right, here's this from the London Telegraph. This one's pretty big, and it's asking me to register, but I'm not going to register and pay for it. State of fear, how ministers use covert tactics. Hold on, let me refresh it again. To keep scared people at home. To keep the scared public at home. And this is coming out of England, and I'm going to kind of jump into the next article that pertains to it. Give me a second here while I find it. I don't know why. So this is coming from England because in England, there's something major happening in England where they are right here. So I should have organized this before the show. I'm sorry.
No worries.
It's called Kill the Bill. Londoners march against proposed law that would give police more powers to crack down on public protests. So right now in England, they've been scaring the crap out of people and keeping people indoors. And it's been very, very scary what has been happening. And I don't know why they're keeping instilling fear in people and keeping them locked inside their homes. Go ahead, Supreme. What do you say to that?
Yeah, there's been a real warm debate in the House of Commons over there about cracking down on protests because, as one MP said, I believe I mentioned it last week, protests are a safety valve for public ire, right? And they also send a message to the people in power as this is what's bothering us, because it's usually something in states as large and complicated as the UK that get overlooked. We have the same problem in Canada, obviously. Any large country has the same problem. When you have an extensive state apparatus like we do, you'd think, oh, they control everything and it's all over and all the rest of it. But no, a lot of things fall through the cracks. There is no feedback, and the feedback isn't welcome because if someone's program isn't working, well, then all of a sudden they get under the public spotlight, and they don't like that. They just like to collect their checks and go home. So this is a terrible idea, and it's already a pressure cooker. So I can't, I don't know at what point revolution breaks out or you have violent public protests. But
well, that's been happening in France, and then France locked everything back down for the fourth or fifth wave now.
Yes, they have. And the
all
protests,
the schools are closed.
All the chances to resolve it with peaceful protest are over. The arguments aren't being listened to. They apparently intend to push ahead with their agenda, which involves mass vaccination, and they're rolling out, COVID vaccine passports and all this nonsense.
They're also allowing Kill the Bill also wants to stop police from entering private property at any time.
Absolutely, they shouldn't be doing that. What country outside of the Eastern Bloc the police have the right to enter a private residence without a warrant? Okay, without a signed piece of paper from a judge saying, okay, these are the reasons we want to gain entry, and the judge approves it, says, okay, this is within the rules. Yeah, no, they want the ability to harass dissenters. Basically, that's what it's about. It's Twitter censorship and deplatforming and cancel culture. It's an all-out attempt to suppress any kind of dissent.
Yeah,
and if it involves invading people's private property, now we've got a serious problem.
So we got Canadian Parliament here. NDP to debate phasing out Canada's armed forces at policy convention. So they're looking at the upcoming convention. They want to phase out, this is coming from True North, they want to phase out the Canadian military.
If you asked anybody who was in the Canadian Armed Forces over the last 34 years, they'd probably tell you it's basically already happened. It's only in the the course of a major war where the Canadian military ever gets to any appreciable size. I think it's absolute foolishness. The emergency response capabilities, emergency transport capabilities of the Canadian Armed Forces, all by themselves, are incredibly important, especially in a country this big. No, they want the money so that they can hand it out to the usual suspects. I can't see any practical reason to do that, unless you're just going to flat out say, we're going to let the Americans look after us. It's the stupidest damn thing I've ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and replace it with what? Nothing?
Yeah.
Nonsense.
Okay, so Xinhua News Agency acquires True North. Apparently, this is a actual April Fool's fake article. I did not know it. I covered this earlier. I was very upset that the news agency sold out to China's leading state-run media press agency, and I thought this was real. I read the first 3 paragraphs. I was very upset. I made a video about it, and then I just found out that it's actually an April Fool's joke.
Oh man, and the thing is, the April Fool's tradition isn't good fun, but the way things have been the last few years, man, who needed to see that?
Oh, dude, it made me really upset,
I mean? Yes.
And then I was disappointed, and then I made a video, and then people were telling me in the comments in the video that it's just it's April Fool's. Don't worry about it, Mike. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's meant in fun, but it's a relief to see that it's not true. But man, who needed that right now?
No.
Seriously, yeah. Nobody needs to see something like that. It's like, what? No. Just another.
No, I'm going to get somebody on from the show. Hopefully I could get somebody from this show on Mike in the Night and kind of give us an update on True North, where it's heading, where it's going. Because they cover COVID, they cover immigration, culture, free speech, economy, all kinds of cool stuff. So I'm going to get them, see if somebody from there wants to come on Mike in the Night.
That would be great. Yeah, even somebody from Rebel News would be good.
Yeah, somebody. They always they have downtime in between days, and then they have days off, right? So I can see if
Well, if the shows that the people from other channels that have come over to yours and vice versa, you've appeared on a couple of other people's streams as well. There's a lot of cross pollination on this part of the internet. I would not be surprised if you get a chance to get someone like that on.
Sure.
I think it's just a matter of time. You just got to survive, buddy. That's all. You just got to survive.
You got to survive and kind of dodge it. You know what I'm saying?
In this acid bath called woke media, yeah, you just got to survive. It'll happen.
So here's something coming from our fake news. Are you ready for this?
Absolutely, lay it on me.
Health Canada issues advisory over masks containing graphene, urges recall. So the masks that have the blue on the side, the blue on the one side, and then the white on the inside.
Yeah.
Apparently, their Health Canada said it will complete a thorough scientific assessment to establish the safety and effectiveness of face masks containing graphene. So
graphene. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder why graphene.
Well, there's particles in it, right? And it's potential. It causes toxicity in your lungs.
Sure. Yeah.
And I didn't even know that until I read several articles on it, and it's coming from our mainstream media. So I think Americans and Australians and New Zealanders and out there watching this, I strongly recommend you guys look at this, because a lot of these masks are not as safe as we think they are. They might be causing more problems.
Oh, I would be shocked. Yeah, I've seen videos where these masks have been put, over a steam bath or put some kind of solvent on them or something, and you see these little, nanoparticles, Lenny, or these, wormy looking things coming out of them, and some of the factories they're made in. I don't know. Are they all bad? I doubt it, but good God, requiring to wear these things was just foolish anyway. I don't think they're doing any good, but that's a dead horse. There's no point beating it. But if the mainstream press is reporting it, and they just as like they've reported the after effects of some of these vaccinations, at least there's some debate over on that side of the aisle too about it all. To them,
there's another one here by Sitting News in Toronto, Canada. Health Canada advises against using masks containing graphene due to potential health risks.
Right. Well, if it doesn't specifically say on it, new and improved with graphene, how are you going to know which is which?
Yeah.
Are they supposed to have this stuff in it? Is it sabotage? Is it an industrial pollutant? The one that they see there, I see it's a black looking mask.
Yeah, and then they have the one with the blue on white.
Blue on white. Yeah, those are the ones I use. Mind you, I go to the store 3 times a week, so I wear a mask a grand total of about half an hour a week. It's really not that big of a deal to me. But people that have to wear this stuff all day, yeah, no, my heart goes out to them. It's nonsense.
Okay, someone's asking Adrian T. Mike, do you know if Stel from Montreal will be calling in? Maybe I'll just call him randomly later.
You might try later if he has he went to Cyprus, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's in a different time zone. Hopefully he will keep
But it would be like 5 in the morning when I call him.
It'd be 5 in the morning there, and the likelihood is if he's still in the middle of moving all of his stuff over there, he's probably still in transit. I wouldn't be shocked if you hear from him again, but yeah, it'll be at least maybe send you a DM and let you know he made it and he's okay. Be good to hear from him.
It would definitely. Okay, Border Patrol video shows smugglers abandoning 5 and 3-year-olds at the border. So there it is right there. This border is been the worst it's ever been, like in the last 2 months, 3 months. It's been huge. So I have a friend, I don't know if you remember, a friend that actually, he doesn't speak English. He just messages me in Spanish. And he told me that he lives along the border, the southern Mexican border, like maybe 110 yards from the southern Mexican border.
Okay.
And he told me that the people that are coming in are from anywhere from 80 to 150 people per hour. And he told me that at the border, the Mexican intelligence that's there, or the police, or it's actually the military that's there, believe it or not. They're telling people if they go into Mexico, they cannot stop and collect 200. They got to go straight to the U.S. through. They can't stop and stay in Mexico.
That's like 1,500 miles.
Oh, they could stop and camp on the side of the road like they've been doing. They just can't live and stay there.
Yeah, but I mean, you see some of the ones that were sitting there on their phones, right? Mm-hmm. And they look like, they're complaining about we're starving and dehydrating on the way here, and they're all, 50 pounds overweight on their phone. It's like, yeah, follow the money. Who's doing this?
But Buddy says that this like every day there's every hour there's about 80 to 150 people. Then at during the day, it picks up to about 800, maybe 100 to 300 people an hour going through the southern Mexican border.
Man, that's nuts.
Where the wall is, because Mexico is all fenced off in the south.
Yes, so, yeah, they have a pretty impressive wall in the south. Yeah.
Oh, the south of Mexico is very, very well guarded. So that's that. And basically, what he told me is that the border guards, are telling people coming into Mexico that if they stay in Mexico and they get caught, they will get deported back, or they will spend up to 6 months to a year in a Mexican prison.
Well, that would be an incentive for them to stay away. Yeah, no, the thing about the wall is it prevented so much of this trafficking. And these little kids, like so many of these little kids, and probably 80% of the women that come over the border get gang raped before they get here. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they know that before they make the trek, but they certainly find out the hard way when they try to get in. Mm-hmm. So the wall was preventing that. It's like, no, stay home. It's not safe anyway. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants a new life in the States. Well, there's lots of people in America that were born there with kind of like a new life too. Mm-hmm. We're basically neo-pioneers. We're trying to build a new civilization amid the ruins of this still functioning one. Mm-hmm. Right? To try to recreate it in some way. And these people need to do the same thing in their lands. That's just how it is. There's no future here.
Are you ready for this one?
Sure.
Saturday satire? ? Dems will not legalize Georgia's racist election law by reading it to see what it says. So I don't know if you've been following what's been happening down in Georgia. And basically they said, according to sources, several media figures attempted to read the bill in its entirety, but collapsed on the ground in horrible agony from all the racism in it. Just trust us. Just trust us. It's racist, they all said.
And that's from Saturday, so that's not April 1st either, eh? Yeah, it's clown world stuff, right? If it's against or as a result of the 2020 election, and it was sponsored by a Republican, then it's racist.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that. Doesn't matter. Doesn't even matter the color of the person who brought the bill forward. It doesn't matter.
It's Saturday, April 3rd. That's today. That's in the morning.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
crazy,
no,
dude.
It's just nonsense. Yeah, we're not reading. It's ridiculous. It's, in other words, if you oppose it, it's like I said last week. It's about power. It isn't about anything else. They use all these words to imply moralism, but it's not about morals. It's about power and nothing else.
But they've taken the value out of the word, like they've taken the strength or the power out of the word racism. It doesn't mean it. If someone calls me a racist, I'll be like, okay, just don't call me a toaster.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's about equally meaningless now. No, they're just digging in, holding on to what they have. That's all. They don't ever want to lose another election anywhere ever again. They like power and they want to keep it, and it's not for any purpose to do with our well-being or not. It's not about fair elections. It's not about anything. They lie to your face. They gaslight, and then they just do what they're going to do anyway. I mean, their whole. Sorry, go ahead, Mike.
Dano was saying it's racist to show your ID to vote.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that. Yeah, if you bring it forward because it would bring accountability, they're going to say Bitcoin is racist. They're going to say all these people buying silver are racist. Right? It's just another one of those words. Right? Sexist, misogynist, racist, whatever. It's a dog whistle to their power apparatus to attack and deplatform anybody who isn't on board with their agenda. I understand there was a young lady in Texas that had a 4 a.m. raid by the FBI over the last few days because there was video of her marching in the protest, in the rally in Washington on January 6th. They are targeting individuals and harassing them for nothing. Just to send a message is, yeah, you shouldn't have sided with the orange guy. That was a bad idea, and don't ever do it again.
China.
Yeah, buying black gold is racist. Exactly.
China.
Any color of gold is racist because it goes against the system. Right? Yeah,
okay,
no,
you ready for the big one?
It's retarded. You shake your head after a while. Go ahead, Mike.
Here's the big one. Why isn't everyone in Florida dead or in the hospital? And basically is because, obviously Florida has been very lax to the lockdowns and masks and social distancing and all that crap. And why isn't everyone dead and in the hospital?
Yeah, good question. Good question. We were expecting it, weren't we? We were expecting shoals of dead bodies washing up on shore from all of the swimmers that were suddenly struck down by the Andromeda strain. Mm-hmm. The COVID, our little spiky boy floating around in the air there. Yeah, no, it's nonsense. Of course it's nonsense. But they're going to continue pushing the agenda. And you look right at them. On the conservative side, there's a whole grift. Like there's people that get rich out of pointing out Democratic hypocrisy all day, every day. The Democrats said this, and yet they're actually doing this. I wonder why they're being such hypocrites, right? 20 tweets later, it's exactly the same shtick. Mm-hmm. It's just a grift. They do what they want for power. They don't care. As long as they had a media monopoly, you could call them on it, but your voice would be drowned out. You'd be relegated to page 38, right? The accusation is on page 1, and then 3 weeks later, the retraction is on page 38. It's as old as the press itself. I mean, Napoleon and Wellington complained about the press 200 years ago. It's the same crap. It's the same nonsense. Yeah, like, why aren't they all dead? Well, that's good. Yeah, just point it out. That's good. Now get someone in a position of power to act on it. That's the challenge.
Well, here it is. The number one point they make is only one I'm going to read is that lockdowns wouldn't stop COVID because you cannot stop a virus.
No, of course not. No, the sunshine is killing the virus more than anything they're going to give anybody. Mm-hmm. The masks and this supposed vaccine and all the rest of it. No, it's not doing anything. It's a virus. It'll live for a certain amount of time on a surface. If you touch it, you're probably going to get it. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. You can't hide it.
You can't stop the wind.
You can't stop the wind. It's been through the entire population already. Like, this is just nonsense. To me, it's just power. It's just power. It's nothing else. And now that power has trickled down to lower level bureaucrats that don't want to give up their right to, play Karen times 1,000 on people that aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Right. All right.
Stasi tactics.
Next one. Cancel culture isn't a WMD, it's political terror. There are only a tiny handful of writers working in the media worth following nowadays. That wasn't always the case, but the media has consolidated into political narrative block churning out clickbait aimed at the choir, which means that even aside from its politics, it has room for anything interesting. So, how do you feel about cancel culture, Supreme?
Oh, the whole concept is retarded. It is absolutely political terror. It makes you think twice about what you say or what you write because of the possibility that you could lose everything from your job to your banking privileges. You could lose the place you live. Your family could be harassed by people who appear out of nowhere, right? And toilet paper your house or slash your tires or beat one of your kids or something, right?
Or create a post about you on the dirty.
Exactly. Yeah. And like anybody takes that seriously, but still, it's a form of harassment. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wouldn't be just be trolling if they said, "Oh, you're a sexist, you're a racist, you're a misogynist, whatever." Okay. It's like, no, you have people that will show up at random and hit someone physically, hit them in their pocketbook, hit them in their living, hit a member of their family, including small children, threaten them, and they know that nothing's going to happen to them. Mm-hmm. And so you think twice about what you say. It's like if you're going to speak freely in this world, you've got to make yourself anti-fragile just for that reason alone. And even then, even if your finances are in order, and even if your home is paid off, and even if nobody knows where you live, someone could still nab you off the street and haul you off to jail for something stupid. Look at look at that Tommy Robinson guy, right, a couple of years ago in England.
Oh, he's still in and out of jail.
He's still in and out of jail. They'll stop harassing. Yeah, they'll harass him until either the system collapses or he collapses, one or the other. This kind of thing goes on all the time. And again, there is no one in a position of power who seems prepared to acknowledge it or do anything about it. And that ultimately is where the real unrest will come from, is when enough people realize that no one above a certain level is on your side. It's either ignorance or malice. I'm still more inclined to think the latter. The former than the latter, but there's some sick people making decisions for normal people, and the best thing to do is keep them out of your life in every way possible. But it's tough because they infest the system. So yeah, cancel culture is political terror. It's made to make you keep your mouth shut and go along.
Yeah,
you have to think 3 steps ahead and be prepared 3 steps ahead. You have to be very proactive if you're going to take on something like that. But I'll just end with that. There was a blogger named Vox Day. He goes by Vox Day. He wrote a book a number of years ago called SJWs Always Lie. And he was talking about how you deal with social justice warriors in business and in politics and things like that and in the media. And the big thing is if they single you out and start attacking you, okay, don't back down and never apologize for anything. Do not apologize. You see these public figures, someone accuses them of something, and they spend all their time on the back foot. Well, I'm very sorry for offending you, and we'll change our ways and everything else. Look what's happening to corporations. Coca-Cola apparently is on board with this Georgia election thing. Nike, right? Gillette. We've talked about that debacle before. You know, the biggest hazard to me is the communication companies. It's the Microsofts and the Apples and the Verizon Wirelesses of the world, you know, when and the banks, when they start applying woke tactics to individuals in terms of how they make a living and buy food and pay rent. Yeah, now you've got direct terror. And at that point in time, there's no choice. You're going to have war is on the way. And I think at this point, that's what they want, either civil unrest or they want to get us embroiled in another war of some kind to reset the books, if nothing else.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, Here goes. You ready for the next one?
Sure.
Christians condemn London police for shutting down unlawful Good Friday church service, citing COVID and threatening arrest video.
Well, the words unlawful church service are the big red flag right there. What do you mean unlawful church service? Mm-hmm. There is no such thing. There's absolutely no such thing. It's like unlawful shopping or something. Like, no, they're making this stuff
So
up.
you got two cops standing at the pew there,
Yeah.
wearing masks, and it looks like they're on the microphone telling people that this is like basically a shutdown. You're not allowed to be here, and blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, I saw a short clip of that. Oh, it's
there they
such
are, right
nonsense.
there. There they are. Oh,
They've been having Easter services in England for 1,500 years, and the cops are there. Can you imagine the cojones to go and do something like that? It's nonsense. My next question is: did they go to the synagogues on Passover? Or, did they go to the mosques on Eid or Ramadan and tell them they couldn't go? I'd be curious.
well, it's not
I'd be
only
curious
that.
to know.
I actually feel sorry for these police officers because in their minds, because they think there is no hell and they're not going to pay for what they're doing, they got something else coming.
Well, when they signed up to be agents of the state, some of them, the older ones, the state would never get involved in stuff like this. But now they're to the point where they're saying, I'm sorry, it's my job. I have to do this. Yeah, some of them are godless and they're, heathen and all the rest of it. Okay, I get it, all that stuff. All right, fine. But no, some of them, I mean, they grew up in these small villages. They grew up in these towns. This was part of their life too.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been sent to do this. And this is the thing. A lot of law enforcement, a lot of military are being expected to enforce things that they really don't agree with. But they gotta, again, it's another form of cancel culture. What are you going to do? Refuse? Are you going to quit? If you got a mortgage and a family, and what are you going to do? You're trapped. You don't have a choice. You have to do it.
It's very sad. It's very sad to see this.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not only the Christians, Stephanie. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of this. The Orthodox community in New York has really been standing up against this too for the past year or so. Like the Cuomo shutdowns in New York. Yeah, they've been no, we're going to do whatever. That's good. What really makes me angry is, if Christians really stood up and defended their culture, Sundays would be a day of rest again.
Yep.
No one would be telling them what to do if they really stood up and made their numbers count. And they're just cocked.
In the end,
it's just sad.
In the end, a lot of these will be judged. A lot of these people will be judged in the end. I believe. Don't worry.
Sure they will. Well, you know what? They're not escaping judgment here. They're not making friends right now doing this.
Nope.
They're just going to increase the hysteria. They're just going to increase the anger.
Let me ask you an off-topic question, if that's okay.
Sure.
Now, if we decide to get things back to normal, or if they finally give in, or there's some sort of intervention somehow, and we start to win again, do you think these police are ever going to be employed in the private sector ever again in their lives?
I think they will. I mean, if
I
you
see
look
them working in the public sector with the government. I will never hire someone that worked in this. I don't mind hiring an ex-police, but hiring an ex-police that was part of this whole thing. The time we're in now.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. But in some ways, it's like, think of Germany in 45, right? Mm-hmm. There were people that, they got a kick out of doing what they were doing. But there were also people that I was literally following orders, and I had my own family to think about, and I didn't agree with it, but I did what I did.
Yeah, I understand.
Right, and I mean, that's a long, complicated story. It's not a black and white story at all, right? But sooner or later, you get to the point where you've got to consider some people rehabilitated, And the thing is, if they're willing to follow orders of evil people, well, maybe they're willing to follow orders of good people. Some people are just order followers. I don't subscribe to the worship of healthcare, education, and law enforcement, all the rest of it. I mean, I'm glad we have them, but they're not there to be worshipped. They're there to serve us. That's what we pay for, and they should be thankful to us that they're able to do that for a living.
Well,
that's the other part.
Right?
We're the public. We're the ones that matter. Right? It's not that they don't matter, but they're there to serve us. So we're the ones that matter. And that kind of gets lost in the shuffle sometimes. I don't really feel the need to celebrate TikTok nurses that seem to be doing interpretive dances to scare the virus away, like that stupid Finnish anti-rape dance they had on TikTok a while ago.
Woo!
You see that stupid thing?
China.
No. Sorry, no. This is some kind of new age woo-woo thinking. This is really dumb. You're just rubbing stuff in people's faces doing this. And they're so ignorant, they probably don't even realize it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the thing. I mean, they're just disconnected from reality. That's all. They don't live out here where we do.
All right. Next.
Okay.
Energy billionaires become $51 billion richer from 2021 oil rally. So, guys, remember, I don't know, Supremo, if you remember, 2-3 months ago, I was starting to buy back into oil.
Yes.
I just believe that oil is my little portfolio I got going on is doing really well right now. And global banks bracing for losses amid U.S. hedge fund collapse. And just going over some of the headlines here. And the world's oil billionaires have become richer in the first quarter of 2021, adding to the combined net worth of $51 billion to their fortunes as oil prices rallies and investor confidence is excessively pushed. Oil stocks returned. So I believe we're going to see a $75 to $80 barrel before the end of this year. And it's an uptick, but it all adds up in the end. What do you think?
I tend to agree, especially when you've got the disruptions that you had in the Suez Canal. There was probably a few dozen tankers that were delayed. Obviously, that vessel, to my understanding, has been removed and is in the Great Bitter Lake, and traffic's moving again. But they're a week behind, right? So there's going to be 2-3 week delays. The ships that were already sent around the Cape of Good Hope, that was an extra 7 days for their voyage. We're going to have gaps in the supplies. I would not be surprised to see oil spike to $70-$80 shortly.
Wow.
It wouldn't shock me at all. It might not stay there as the volumes come back on, because remember, a lot of people are still at home.
Yep.
There's a whole kinds of stuff not happening. And that 51 billion, I mean, in the end, that's paper wealth. That could disappear in a hurry too, right?
It can.
Sure. I mean, those people at Archegos, they were probably planning on a nice weekend too before everything imploded, much like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers and Enron and all these other long-term capital management and all these other horror stories from the last 25 years.
Woo! Next. Yemen Air Force conducts retaliatory attacks against Saudi airbase. Is from the other 2 days ago. So it looks like that the Yemenis are fighting back against the Saudis, and I think Saudi Arabia can't win a war even if they tried.
Well, not without American help.
Right.
I mean, they have American hardware. They have F-15s and F-16s, and I think they use M1 tanks, or at least M60s. They've got a lot of good hardware. I'm sure they have some kind of special forces. And Yemen, I don't know whose weapons they're using, although I imagine they're getting them from Iran, if anywhere. Mm-hmm. It just comes down to, it's a retaliatory attack by a drone or a cruise missile or something, but it's not a full scale invasion, right? It's just trading shots back and forth.
All right. Next.
I don't even know who the good guys are there anymore.
All right,
who knows?
The good guys. Who's God with?
Who's God with? Yeah, he's probably I don't think God's on any of their sides, to be honest. I think he's just shaking his head going, oh, they're my kids fighting again. That's the trouble with having a big family. The people that say, the open borders people that say we're all one human family. Yeah, we are. And have you noticed how much effort it is to get everybody together, even for a 5-year reunion? Mm-hmm. Right? They're much happier apart than together. Mixing them all up once in a while is fine, but to do it permanently is just begging for trouble.
It is. Well, yeah. We've been talking about on the channel the sanctions that nobody else is talking about this, very strangely. The sanctions that are on Australia from China. For people joining us that are new to the channel or just joining the channel, Australia, of all countries, is being sanctioned to death by China. Their oil, their wheat, their barley, their iron ore, their corn, their, did I say wine? All kinds of stuff. Dairy is being sanctioned by China. And now, look what China went and did. So they could keep the sanctions going and bankrupt Australia and then buy them back on 10 cents on a dollar.
Well, if Australia lets them do it. Yeah, I mean, China had already bought so many companies and resource producers in Australia. They're hurting themselves too, not just the Australian proper. And it's not like the Australia couldn't find other markets for those products.
Well,
it just takes some time to reorient, but I think they'll be all right.
So look what China did. Stake in huge iron ore mine in Guinea may cut China's dependence on Australia. So now China is really hard going after these. So they're getting their coal from Mongolia. Mm-hmm. And even though back in the 70s, China said they'll never I'm not going to go into that right now, but then now they're going into Africa and they're taking basically the iron ore out of another country, and obviously they're just going to buy up the land for cents on the dollar and then take whatever they need. So here it is right there, and that's what's happening right now. And China, I think. So I'm gonna ask for the Australians out there, like later on, if you become in power or you're looking to be in politics and stuff, I beg of you that when China comes back or needs something, that you turn the cheek and say, not right now. We don't want to do business with you, because China's deal is to try and buy Australia for nothing. They've already bought a ton of their real estate. They've already driven up their housing prices. They've bought up tons of commercial buildings and left them empty, and homes left them empty. And it's priced their own locals out of the markets. And now they've been sanctioning them for almost a year now. And do you know why they're sanctioning Supreme? Do you know why?
Why specifically?
Because the president or the Scott Morrison and his cabinet were trying to find out the origins of the COVID-19 virus, and China took offense to it and sanctioned them to death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, economic terrorism, yeah, of a sort. Yeah, same deal. Yeah, the whole world has been infested with this economic STD called COVID, right? We're all suffering from it, from playing around in the dirtier parts of the world. Well, that's
I love
what
China.
happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's you're going to have trade wars like this. There's going to be a lot of retaliation back and forth. The less we deal with China going forward, the better. But there's a lot of people that are still stuck on this dream of oligarchs running the planet, and every mine, every farm, every home, everything is their personal property.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to give up on that dream, but yeah, they're running into some roadblocks here. No, Australia, if the Australian government is doing anything to look after their own people, I'm highly encouraged by that.
I hope so. I hope
it's short-term pain.
I hope they say, well, you know what? We're not going to let this go. You need our wheat.
Yeah.
You know what? You know who bought their barley? Australia?
Who?
Mexico.
Oh, is that right?
Mexico bought all their barley. Mexico.
Well, there you go. Yeah, no, they'll find a home for that stuff.
Mexico.
They are global markets. They might have to take a few bucks less, or they might have to, absorb a little extra shipping cost or whatever. But no, every market clears eventually.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have a good year, and sometimes not so good a year. But what they really need to be doing is focusing on improving manufacturing and using their own resources at home. Australia has everything they need to. Everything that they produced contributed to their lifestyle, just like here in Canada, America, everywhere else in the world. No, there's global markets. They'll sell their stuff. It was better because it was a short distance to sell to China, and China would obviously be a bottomless market for food and energy and things like that. But they did this. This is China's fault, right? Because it's a stupid system. And this whole COVID thing was a stupid thing. I'm going with that. Was it a psyop, or was it a globalist takeover or something? Man, give it 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Let's not jump to conclusions about this. People have all kinds of technocratic wet dreams, no question. But the average person is really starting to speak up now because they're getting angry, and yeah, they're going to have to pay attention.
I'm getting tired of this crap, to be honest with you.
Oh, I'm long past sick of it. You just realize after a while, it's just, okay, enough people haven't hurt yet. They haven't hurt enough yet to wake up and look. Right? And then when they do wake up, that's the thing. People like this have known this for a long time. Yeah, it's just long drudgery. But the ones that we gave up on, when they finally realize what happens, they're the most zealous converts of all.
Yeah, true.
So that, the army is growing, and it will be a lot more vociferous going forward. I'm sure of that.
Okay, let's move on to a story here real quick. U.S. and Japanese leaders may put Taiwan's security center stage when they meet. So U.S. and Japanese leaders will be meeting soon. This article is from 11 minutes ago. It's just on the table here. So they will meet in Washington next week. So growing concern over Taiwan security may see the two leaders issuing a rare joint statement over the issue. So yeah, I told you Taiwan's going to be a major issue. The second Biden was selected into power.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because the U.S., does the U.S. still have the will to rattle their sabers loud enough to tell the Chinese back off? you don't want this. They don't have I don't think they have a formal mutual defense treaty with Taiwan, because I don't think Taiwan is still officially recognized by the UN, for that matter. Mostly to appease China. But their Taiwan is, and it exists. And
I've been to Taiwan. I've been to Taiwan myself.
You've been there yourself, yeah.
Yep.
And
it exists. It's a real country.
Yeah, and it's highly industrialized and heavily armed.
And very nice people, though. Very nice people.
Very sweet people, yeah. And it's like South Korea. It's been a continuous state of war since the late 40s, and it's just this constant tension. The Chinese military buildup is a problem for them, but a lot of that Chinese technology is not really that modern. Like this jet bomber in the picture is an original Soviet design, I believe, from like the late 50s, early 60s. And the Taiwanese have American fighters.
They do.
Like I think they'd knock them out of the air like 10 pins. I don't think it would be that easy. There have been Chinese overflights of Taiwanese airspace, but China, it's an Asian culture. They need to save face, and the jets fly over, but they kind of let them fly over. They don't shoot them down. I mean, if Chinese planes flew over Taiwan and started dropping bombs, that would be a different issue. But that's a declaration of war. That's a whole kettle of fish. This saber rattling has been going on like the Cold War. There was 40 years of that in the Cold War. I don't think it's that significant yet.
The United States of America,
country with a huge population and a surplus male population. But if you told that average Chinese, quote unquote, surplus male that he was disposable, that would be news to him. Yeah, he wouldn't really be up for that too much, because they're starting to have a decent life there too, and they kind of want to keep it going. And remember, because of that one-child policy, most of these sons are only children.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're a little bit spoiled because they're latchkey kids. Most of them, obviously, because of the selective fetal termination, shall we say, don't have wives, will never get married. Okay, they don't really have a stake in this geopolitical saber rattling.
All right.
They just want to live their lives. That's how I see it.
Okay, last story. We're going to wrap it up here. It's our first hour. The Brood X Sisadas are coming for the first time in 17 years, and it's going to be loud. How worried should you be? Well, the Sisadas are coming, according to the scientists. It's a sight or really a sound to behold. So these are like bugs?
Yeah, they're like a big, they look more like a moth than anything else. Kind of a cross between a moth and a beetle from the looks of it. They have them in the States too, and it's the same deal. They go dormant, and then every 17 years they come awake and they fly, they migrate, and then they mate, and they die or bury themselves in the ground again. They're a strange bug. I didn't know they had them in South America.
Well, they're coming. They're going to be in the United States this year.
Oh,
in the Northeast United States.
Oh, okay, yeah. The big fly this year, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't even know what they eat. I imagine they eat plants or tree leaves or whatever bugs like that eat. I don't think it'll be that serious.
No, okay. Laurel Scratcher sent this to me.
Yeah, it's a one-shot deal, and then they go back to sleep for 17 years. So I don't think it's like a plague of locusts per se.
Right on.
Yeah.
All right, Supremo, it's been a great hour together. Thanks for helping me out with the news.
Oh, it was fun.
And I'll see you in the comments. And I appreciate it. It's been a nice solid hour of going over what's going on and what they're trying to feed us. And
yeah. Well, my my backyard expert hot takes. That's all I have for you anyway, guys. So it's lots of fun to interact. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the show. God bless everybody. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Supreme. God bless you.
God bless you, and we'll see you all in the comments.
Ciao.
Ciao.
That is Supreme Cannon hosting the news with us. And I'm going to show you guys some images of the Ravens Corvette here. The Ravens, what a beautiful background with the car and everything. Oh, wow. Let me just get this set up for you guys so you can see. There's the back of the car. There's the Ravens Corvette 63 split window. Look at that. Look at the back of that car. Wow. So There's the front. Look at that picture with the Tim Hortons neon sign in the background. Wow. Now that's a car. Like we're talking about, let me just get this here set up here for you guys. We are talking.
You're talking about all man.
And there's the other photo. It's two of the same photos though, unfortunately. But it's so nice with that Tim Hortons background. There he is right there. Well, he's not there, but there's the car right there. Beautiful photo. Beautiful car. I'm really happy for him.
Woo!
For that car. And yeah, happy Easter to everybody out there, everybody watching in the YouTube world. Who knows how long YouTube's going to last? Who knows how long? Who knows how long anything's going to be? Who knows if any? I mean, who knows anything about anything anymore? And that's the situation we're in, and that's what we've been doing here on this channel. We've been talking ourselves through this. I mean, for almost 12? What we've been on this channel for like 5 years, going live. But I'm saying we've been talking with each other through this, and we're getting through it. And I think there's going to be something, or something's going to give sometime soon. Something's going to have to give sometime soon, because there's only so far they could take something, right? Before it starts to, I don't know, fall apart at the seams, so to say. All right, I want some first-time callers on the show. If you don't mind adding me, Mike Martins 1980. Mike Martins 1980 at Gmail. Not Mike Martins 1980. If you don't mind, Mike Martins 1980. Send me a quick message, and I would like for you guys to, somebody new, somebody fresh, to come on the show tonight on Mike in the Night, because I know there's a lot of people watching this stream right now. So Mike Martins 1980 on Skype. I'm going to call the Raven right now, because he's just, I don't know if he's driving, but let me see where he's at. Let's see if we can get him to go full kook 5 minutes without breathing.
Woo! You're talking about all men.
He ain't picking up. He ain't picking up. He's probably driving right now in his 63 Corvette with the split window. All right. I hope everybody's doing good out there. It is Mike in the Night. And I'm just going through the Skype here, guys. Guys, come on, get on the Skype. Everyone's device comes with the Skype. And don't forget to add me, Mike Martins 1980. And we need to find out what you guys are up to, what you guys are doing. It is a Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something's moving you. And what is moving you tonight? What is on your mind? So we got A-Money here down in Florida wants to come on the show. Let's see what he has to say. I'll give him 5 minutes.
He's a real big dude.
No one's picking up. Nobody is picking up the phone. Where's everybody at tonight? Huh? Is everybody out enjoying the nice weather? It is nice out. I got my window like halfway open. And like to hear what... I'm going to call Tristan. I told Tristan I was going to call him and see if he picks up. I know Tristan is back. Hopefully Blunt News. Yeah, Tristan's not available. His phone's turned off. Wow, everybody is out and about. Oh, Money's calling back. Yo, what's up, Fruity Loops?
Hey.
Good to hear from you. You doing okay?
Oh.
Hello?
Well, yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you, man.
Oh, okay, yeah, because I always try to answer, you know?
Nope.
And I try not to say, but gosh,
All
I'm
right,
in New York,
right.
actually, right now.
What's going on? Come on, let's go.
Yeah, I'm in New York. So, yeah, we got to wear a mask when we go, even like in a park or in the woods or we're like a mile away from people. I guess Cuomo wants us to wear a mask everywhere.
Oh, you're in New York right now?
Yeah. I'm buying a house, another house over here. Trying to get it in. And the market is crazy. Houses are going like in 24 hours or something.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Well, you know how it is, and everybody knows how it is with that. So we got a lot of things going on. I gave you kind of like some time to digest the I guess whatever until between the last time we spoke and now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to forget about it because we got a plan. Yeah, but let's start out, I guess, with the China stuff because my view on them. We went over that when we first spoke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of new, so when I started, I own my channel is only
I love
from
China.
like, I guess, September. But I don't even like having a channel because they want, they say I have like, I made like 2,000 views in a month. And then the next month they erase my views. So they say I don't have any views. So whatever with them.
I'm
done
some
with
bad
that.
news.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube's been erasing thumb downs, like erasing them and removing them from Biden videos. Why would they do that? I get a thumbs down. I get a thumbs down.
Yeah. He's not liked. He can't make it up the stairs. And
well, what I don't understand, what doesn't make any sense to me, is why is like he was booed at the Super Bowl. They're removing dislikes from his stuff. And he was the most voted for president in the history of mankind, super world, universe, all the way to the Andromeda galaxy.
Andromeda, I like that. You are
you can take a spaceship from Earth all the way to the Andromeda galaxy, out of the Milky Way, and all you'll see is Trump posters, signs, neon lights everywhere, and then Biden wins.
Right? The virtues of... I guess the Andromedan Council here we are. So whoever is listening from another planet, I know you guys are tapping in. We're trying to protect us from this guy who can't go up the stairs properly, and this Krispy Kreme operation here. Mm-hmm. You've seen that too, right? Mm. Well, let's go back to China real quick.
Free donuts for every vaccination. Free Krispy Kreme donuts for a year.
Oh no. Yeah, no, watch out. People are making fake COVID passports, right? Because if you got that passport, you're going to get the Krispy Kreme. Oh, that's how it is, They got to push, I guess, incentives, Anyway, I don't want to say but...
I'm going to go to the news to show people, because people are not going to believe us, but here it is.
I
want to find a mainstream media. Here we go. This is local Houston. Is this local Houston news? Okay, here it is, guys. Just so you know, I'm not making this stuff up. Get your COVID-19 vaccine. Krispy Kreme will give you a free glazed donut every day.
I can't eat enough. I got high cholesterol. They need me to take statin, right? The crazy pills. Yeah, because they want to feed us sugar and they want us to act like monsters or whatever. Operation Krispy Kreme, right?
You can't make this stuff up, dude. If you told if you went back 100 years and you told people what's happening today, they would lock you up in an institution. You'll be institutionalized.
Oh yeah, of course. That I watching. You remember the singer Pink back in the day when she was around? Pink.
Probably.
If you watch the song called Alice, right? Because again, the bunny and the Alice, right? The bunny is really a metaphor for it's like a Greek mythology. The bunny is the evil. I don't have it in front of me right now what specific name they call it, but the bunny is evil, right? So that's why Alice in Wonderland, the bunny is like always controlling things.
Okay, I think I found it here. I think I found the image here. Oh, it's actually looks like an interview with a lady with pink. Alice through the looking glass, pink interview. Is that it?
I'm not looking. I'm looking at
Alice through the looking glass.
Yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
It has to do with her explaining the whole Alice, really the Lindell story, and the facts are that at the end, this system is trying to drive us all to the madhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I'll just tell you my experience, because when I was younger, okay, I guess I was kind of programmed. I've had a bad childhood experience. I went to at a young age. I was in kindergarten. My kindergarten teacher had tried to program and torture me, and when my parents went to school to complain, and they felt threatened by the system, and that was a backlash by the other teachers. They were all in the same group, and as I got older, I kind of they went from me being like somebody who was an outcast to then they put me in honors classes because I have some kind of IQ. I can formulate a conscious thought. So I was in honors programs, and I surrounded myself, like I said, I surrounded myself. My friend's a scientist. I want to get him on record on what's going on. I've told you I kind of trust him, but I also have conversations with him about when we were younger that he would make these kind of vaccines that would turn people into zombies.
You're
so I'm
talking
going
about
to do some kind of recording conversation with him when he's not going to really know. I'm really an open source investigation business guy. I've always going to go and do things in business. Like when we talk anything in the past, I've always done just my kind of open source investigation work. Good. To figure things out, right? So that's what we are. We're just an open source. I take a lot of things I look into, or I'm not just specifically with your station. I have a lot of different other radio stations. I've been on other radio stations, specifically, and I'm getting involved with other radio stations, and they do a lot of reviewing of what's going on with how we analyze things. So you have a lot. You might not think because you're looking at the numbers of subscribers, you're not really seeing what kind of influence you're having, but your information's getting out there. People are going to eventually, it's going to trickle domino effect into and people in the States were listening. And I understand the world is listening, but the fact is America does have, I don't want to be categorized as an American. I really don't. I mean, I want to go to Florida, yeah, because Florida, they're not really pushing these agendas on people.
No, they're not.
Right.
It's kind of bizarre how now everyone's dying and dying in hospitals.
I've been in the hospitals. The whole like we went over this, how the Medicaid.
I'm being sarcastic. I know.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. I feel like you. I wish you were my brother. But anyway, I'm acting out like a fact that I know a lot of what's going on. It could take a long time for me to tell you everything that's going on. But I'll just throw this out here. I wanted to go into the China thing, but I'm going to throw this out there. So what's going on, like not only about the Medicaid, they make you sign the paperwork, and there's more people now. It went from about 40 million people on Medicaid to double because people are getting desperate, forced. They need medical insurance. They don't realize that now that they doubled, about 80 million people are now going to be without assets because Medicaid really is a program that takes your assets.
Yes.
Yeah, the government will give you. Yeah, right. This is the catch, right? Oh yeah, just sign right here. Sign right here. You don't be signing anything with these fools. Try to minimize it. It's really what they do to they did it to me, they do it to everybody else. And I read all the court cases. Right now, I'm not really focusing. I do have a court case in front of me right now. That's what I'm looking at. And it has something to do with my personal experience with China. And that's why I have this opinion about them, because I was a victim.
I know you told us back on a couple of shows ago.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
You told us this already.
Oh, okay. I told you about how, So we're going into this whole like it's a price manipulation thing that what they're doing is they're creating. Now it's not really a pump and dump, but their scheme is to hyper accounting. So they'll guarantee themselves profits in their own country. You know how we have data. So we have this data that we report like jobs numbers and this and that, right? You know about that, how like, you know, we had the jobs report every Thursday. You know, they have the ADP or the daily reports. You know, and each day there's a different.
Hello? Hello? Oh, we lost him. All right, guys. People are talking in the news there. Ebola. So we got a lot of Ebola cases. New Ebola cases reported in Guinea. Guinea detects Ebola case resetting count to the end of the outbreak. New Ebola case reported. Man's Ebola relapse spawned dozens of new cases in Africa. So Ebola is one that's not being talked about too much, but I don't know how far Ebola will get. That's the thing right there. How far could Ebola get? How far could it get? That's the question, right? So there's lots of Ebola stuff here. Ebola cases. So this is the first reported case since March 4th. This brings outbreak to total 19 confirmed probable cases and 9 deaths. So you have a better chance of dying of this. You could die of this. Ebola is one thing you don't want to play games with. And I kind of wanted to throw that out there because a lot of people are talking about Ebola in the comments section. All right, let's move on to our next caller. I want to talk to the Raven. He promised he will go full kook with us, and it's really important that we go full kook with the Raven.
You're talking about all the...
Come on, Raven, pick up your phone. Nobody home. All right, we tried the Raven, guys. I'm so sorry. He is not picking up the phone. Fruity Loops will get you on in a week or so. We'll probably get you on the next show. No rush there. Let's get... Tristan's not picking up his phone. Who else? 26 Gunter's working right now. He's in... not Minneapolis. He's in... It's the Midwest there, up there. Let me see who we got here. Who do we have? Who is available? Man, everyone's out partying. All right, let's see if there's anyone that has added me. Okay, we got Adam. Adam just messaged me hello. Let's see if he picks up the phone. Let's see what Adam has to say. Come on, Adam.
The person whom you're trying to reach is currently...
Wow, everyone's picking up. Could it be my Skype is not really picking up people properly? Could my Skype be not ringing on someone else's end? Is there something happening? That is the question. That is the question we need to all ask ourselves. And yeah, Fruity Loops will get you back on next week to continue that story. And we'll follow your court case on what's happening, especially with the... I know what's going on when it comes to those markets and stuff. Oh, there's the Raven. Yo, what's up, man?
You were trying to call me?
Yeah, I tried calling you twice. Unfortunately, you're probably driving around in the Corvette, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that car's sweet, dude. I was showing everybody the photos.
Yeah, that Tim Hortons picture turned out pretty good, eh?
It looks amazing with those neon lights in the background.
You know what I didn't realize?
Huh.
These cars didn't come with seatbelts.
No, seatbelts didn't come out till 70?
65 or I don't know, later in the C2. But yeah, it doesn't have seatbelts, so I'm going to die like a man. That's what my buddy said. Die like a man.
Woo! Well,
I'll start.
All right,
I'll start.
All right, buddy. You know what's happening in the world? I know you're driving the Corvette to forget about all your worries. Why do you think I have a Corvette and I drive it around too?
Here, listen to this. Here, ready?
Go. Hello?
Rock and roll time.
Are you revving your motor?
I'm taking off here.
Well, you're on the phone.
Yeah, I know, but I'm taking off. I'm going to go for a spin. I can
so
talk
you
on the
don't have
phone.
a driver's license. I mean, you don't have a seatbelt in your car, and you're on the phone.
And my brakes aren't that good either.
Oh, you're so lucky.
Here.
Okay, I need you to go full kook. 5 minutes, no breathing. Go.
You want me to go full kook, drive a 63 split window standard, and go full kook without breathing?
You don't have to drive right now.
Hold on a second. I'll pull over. Just give me a sec.
Take your time. I can't believe that. So the Raven is driving a 63 Corvette split window.
Here, listen to this. Here,
standard.
I'll put the window, the phone out the window here. It's a good one, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm pulling over here. Hold on one sec.
Try and pull over next to a car with like a family inside waiting for somebody.
No, there, I'm pulled over.
Then they'll look at you and wondering, who the hell's he talking to?
No, I barely fit in this car.
Ooh, it's way. Yeah, my Corvette's like that too. It's just you gotta kind of sit in it weird.
Yeah, you got to kind of melt down into the seat there. It's kind of hard to get out. Might need the jaws of life to get me out of here. But, yeah, so yeah, I missed your call. I was cruising.
Yeah, I don't blame you, man. It's a nice car to be driving around in. So, is your town in lockdown?
No, we're not in lockdown. Ontario is.
Yeah, Ontario is.
Yeah.
So what did somebody cough somewhere and then they shut down the province, or?
Yeah, they're grooming us. It's all a grooming process. You know, you can't let up on it. A little bit more, a little bit harsher, a little bit more, a little bit harsher. They're grooming us, getting us ready. Incremental. Soon it will be bigger chunks.
Ripley is asking a question. Ask Raven if he's still considering buying a COVID scamdemic decal wrap for your car.
My license plate I paid the $105. I'm trying to get Covette 19.
Covette 19.
That's my first choice. Yeah. Woo! Covette 19. She said, well, maybe 60-40 you'll get it. I said, well, I hope I get it. So yeah, they said you have to put the reason why you want that. I put Covette is the make of the car, and 19. I just put I've owned the car since I was 19, which isn't true.
Oh,
see if
Covette
I get it.
19.
It's just a joke, just like Covette. It's all a joke.
Okay, so go ahead, tell us. So what's going on? What are they planning now? They're having a summit now. The Alaska summit was a huge mess. Last week with China in the United States, it was a huge meltdown, and it was a huge waste of time. And now Japan and China are going to meet this week because of Taiwan. What's going to happen there?
I think it's all just I think it's all BS. I told you that. I think it's all just for the people to watch. More distractions, more. It's just more BS. I don't believe anything they say about their military stuff. I don't believe it. These people are all in this together. If you're not in it with them, then you're going to end up like the Tanzania president. You're going to have a little bit of heart trouble. This thing was smoothed out, ironed out years ago. That's why they used that guy, I'll say his initial, J.E., the guy that supposedly hung himself in jail there. That guy, he smoothed out a lot of the stuff for them. Just because you can only get a prince, right? Prince Andrew there. So he got in trouble. Mm-hmm. But because you got him, you got the whole royal family. You got them all. Because they'll hang that rat out to dry with the videos. And that would kill the royal family. So what, do you want to get the queen? Do you want to get the king? Well, you don't have to. Just get a prince. As long as you get one, you got them all. Right? They got them all. They got all those guys. They got control files on everyone. There's no potholes in this road, you know. So if then that ties into everything. All the leaders, these guys, this is an agenda. These guys are sharing this across the globe. But they also like to use misdirection and, we're going to have a war with this guy. We're going to have a war. Throws you off from thinking it could be all an agenda.
Mm-hmm.
It's all just a game, man. You know?
Well, we got one issue that's happening, and there's a lot of economists finally taking some sort of look at it, is the dollar share of the global reserve has fallen, the lowest since 1995, as the yuan hits all-time high. So dollar share as the global reserve in the world, the U.S. dollar, of course, is taking a kick in the pants, dude. What's going on? And why isn't gold going up?
I know, eh? Why isn't gold? The gold will have its day. It's you know, it'll have its day. You know, what are you gonna say? You know, dollar's dying. It's gonna die. So everything's a game until then. But yeah, it's China's turn, Mike. I work for the Chinese.
The problem is it's communist. I'd rather have Mexico's turn. I'd rather have Guatemala's turn. I'd rather have Brazil's turn. I just don't want this whole, because China's now fighting for supremacy in controlling the COVID passports for the world.
Everybody should be able to see everything that's coming down the pipe. Go buy yourself a Corvette. Enjoy the summer. You might not get another one. You know? Yep.
I got my Corvette last spring, so I enjoyed it last summer, and this summer is a lot of fun.
My friends have a supercharger they could put on that for you.
No, thank you. The car is already too fast.
Yeah, they could take it up a notch.
No, I don't. No. No. And okay, let's talk about the Kill the Bill. Kill the Bill is a bill that they're trying to pass in the UK, in England, and it's been a real issue where basically they're going to stop people from protesting, arrest people that form or organize protests, and they're going to start regulating social media, and they're going to allow police to go into people's homes whenever they feel like.
Who would have ever thought all that, eh? Who would have thought that?
But what is the average citizen doing that's so bad that they need to do this? Like, honestly, what... The typical guy living in London works his 9 to 5, pays his mortgage, chose life, he's living his life. Why do they need so much overbearing control over the guy? What are they going to get?
Well, according to them, we're all on the wrong side of the grass. Yeah. They're not going to stop. Yeah. I get tired of talking about it. People should be able to see. People should be able to see. Yeah, it's aggravating. People should be able to see this whole thing's playing out. You're not going to stop. You're going to get your bracelet. Everything's coming down. And then people will call me negative. Whatever. It's this should be very clear to everybody. Either they're not reading enough or they're not paying attention. They're not going to stop this. They didn't, you know what? COVID's not quite working. Okay, let's just let it die out. No. They grab the ball. They're running with it. They ain't going to let go. Mm-hmm. So you will never be as free as you are today.
So here it is. The protests were held in 25 cities across England and Wales, including London. People marched from the capital's Hyde Park with placards saying, "Protect our rights and kill the bill," referring to the controversial proposed legislation known as Police, Crime, Sentencing, and Courts Bill. So London's Metropolitan Police urged the public not to attend the large gathering that violate the COVID-19 regulations and are punishable by fines and up to 10 years in prison. Similar rallies last month led to clashes with police and to many arrests.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Bye-bye freedom, bye-bye liberties. They're all going to be gone, piece by piece by piece.
But I think I always thought Australia was going to be the more of the push, the country they're going to push the hardest. But it's actually England. They're actually passing now. England is actually selling off its healthcare sector to a private conglomerate.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a private conglomerate. It's going to own the public health sector in England. That's going to turn into a disaster. I know that there was the public garbage men in my mom's area when she used to live in Ontario was I guess subsidized to a private company. The garbage pickup turned out to become an absolute nightmare. So what do you think is going to happen to the healthcare system?
Irrelevant. Housing, irrelevant. Stocks, irrelevant. Crypto, irrelevant. They're I could try to find a clear way of explaining that. That stuff's all irrelevant. These guys are running with this COVID. What's the main purpose of this whole thing? You got to remember, we're adding 80 million a year. We're running out of everything that we got. We're killing everything. What do you think they're doing? Forcing all these injections, and people are worried about their house in 10 years, how much shingles are going to cost. You're not going to be here in 10 years.
Hey,
these guys that's a train in the background. That's a CP train, though. Yeah. CN doesn't blow in the city. It's only really? CP does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So I you know what? I like the healthcare. I don't look at all that small stuff. These guys are going to keep they're going to keep pressuring us on all the restrictions. They're going to keep taking a little more. The social media will be gone. Once the protest and the backlash comes out, then the social media will start getting clipped like they did in New Delhi. They're going to do all kinds of things with the grid. And the food chain, they're doing tons of stuff. Like, look what they're doing to the farmers, the dairy farmers with the cows, and telling them how long they have to be alive. And there's a lot of stuff going on with farms that you can't even cover all this stuff. And they're just going to keep pushing and cutting and pushing. And it's going to take more of our rights. And they're going to start getting bigger. And then you're going to start seeing things that are going to scare you. Then it's going to be military. And then food crisis will come in. And then they're going to start leveraging that for vaccines. And it spirals down and down and down. And it does that because interest compounds. So the problem gets worse and worse and worse. So they're lying to us. And another thing, Ray Dalio, Drunken Miller, all those big hedge fund managers, they know what's going on and they're keeping quiet about this. They know that this whole thing's going to come apart. Why are they all keeping quiet? They're keeping quiet. If you can't see what's going on here, they lied through their teeth about inflation. That Federal Reserve, 1.6, 1.7%. Give me a break. They lied for 12 years since 2008 and BS'd us and took us into this debt trap where we're funneling all our money into cryptos, into stocks, into housing. When this thing goes, you're losing all that. Then they've separated the wealth from us then. Then we're at their whim. Whatever they want, we have nothing left. We can't afford food. We can't afford housing. They're going to call the shots. And until then, they're going to start silencing us, shutting the protests, shutting down social media, shutting down any way of contact. You want to keep people, you want to control them, control information. So they're doing exactly a playbook: demoralize, divide. You can see what they're doing, and people can call me negative. There's one little prick there in particular that always calls me negative in the comments. I understand that he doesn't really know anything, so I don't really comment back to him. But keep buying your crypto. What kind of system do you think they're creating here? Keep helping them. They want everybody into crypto.
Well, if you think that's bad enough in England, watch this one. COVID, £5,000 fine for people going on holiday abroad. So if you're living in England and you want to go down to the south of Portugal, which a lot of British do during spring break, good luck, because you're going to be paying a £5,000 fine for leaving. And you know what? I spoke to somebody from Cambridge University in England, and Eton, and another gentleman who's studying at Oxford, told me that basically, Mike, you're on the ball. You're in the right direction. He says you're heading in the right direction, Mike. a lot of British or people with some sort of assets are selling them off, and they're moving to Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina is good. I watched some people that live in the outskirts there live fairly cheap.
Yeah, they're doing okay, but a lot of British are starting to like kind of look around and see what they could sell, and they're scrambling to Argentina. And this is what someone that studies at Oxford told me.
Okay, but remember, you have housing, hyperinflating stocks, crypto, everything's hyperinflating. So you're moving to Argentina with fiat. How long is that fiat going to be alive for? You know, they're suppressing gold and silver to give it the illusion that it has strength, but it doesn't. How long is your fiat going to be good for? Unless you're holding something that has a track record of holding value, I don't see how you're going to be bartering or trying to afford food. You know, like the fiat, you have to watch the currencies. The currencies are going to go. Look what's happening in all the countries. Argentina just defaulted again. I think there's 10 countries that just defaulted.
Argentina has defaulted 3 times in the last 10 years.
Or more than, I think more than that. I think they've defaulted like 10 times.
Really?
9 or 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I know 3 big times where they had to start from 0 3 times.
Yeah, there's a lot of defaults out there too where people are in trouble. They're keeping it quiet, but you know what? Their currency is not even worth anything anymore. It's all a fake. You know, they play that stimulus. Oh, like our current. Oh, will you get your $1,400 stimulus check? Will you get it? Maybe not. Maybe. Trying to make it look like it's worth something. You know, they're printing trillions, hiding inflation, but everything's skyrocketing. So you can see that the value of that currency is crap. You can see it. Look, you got to look a house in this where I'm standing right now. These houses are going up like $100,000 in the last 6 months. You know,
large. Yeah.
They're $250,000, $300,000 houses. They're going up like insane.
China.
It's crazy. So there's the value of your currency is collapsing. You know.
Okay,
but they're hiding
something out there. I kind of want to make you happy. So I got an article here, and this is I kind of had to backtrack this to make sure I'm just not blowing smoke. So here it is. The NDP to debate phasing out Canada's armed forces to policy convention. So they want to get rid of the Canadian military. There's our Canadian parliament here. So what is going on, Raven? Like, do we need a standing army realistically? Does Canada? I mean, look how big our border is.
Well, you know what? We got 3 Cub Scouts and a beaver. I think that's pretty much what we got left for an army.
What does that mean? 3 Cub Scout planes, helicopters?
No, 3 Cub Scouts, like, you know, Cub Scouts. Do you ever go to Scouts? Yeah, we got 3 Cub Scouts and a beaver protecting our borders. It's like saying we don't have much of an army, Mike. It's a joke. We got 3 Cub Scouts. You don't get it?
Yeah, I understand. Really? I understand. It's a joke. It's. I get it. But
yeah, we got no army.
What do we have for a standing army? I mean, like, I think if Mexico invaded us, we wouldn't win.
Yeah,
if Mexico invaded Canada, we'd be in a lot of trouble. I went to a military parade in Mexico City. Okay, it was like 4 hours long, and there was troops, paratroops, snipers, tanks.
Yeah,
but
you
and Humvees,
you forget, Mike. You forget that I know at least 100 guys I work with that are loaded with guns that hunt all year round. That's all they do is hide in the bush and hunt. High-powered rifles, everything. These guys hunt. That's what they do. I know one guy that's got 50 of them. So there's no shortage of that. And these guys are used to going. And a lot of guys I work with are ex-military from Afghanistan.
I understand that, but we're talking about now, like if an invasion force was to come in, let's say. The Mexicans invaded. I don't think Canada could beat Mexico.
An invasion force is already taking us over. It's called our government.
It's the economy, the economic takeover,
the enemy.
Political
that's
takeover.
The enemy.
I get it.
Yeah, they're the enemy. We're at war with our government. We are at war with our government. We're going to realize that one day that we're going to have to do something about it. Other than just sit here and let them censor this and let them fine us for that and just keep chiseling away at everything that we got, and then until we're in a Walmart camp
Walmart camp.
Well, hey, they're building them right now in the States. Take a look. They're taking Walmarts down, and anybody who's been to jail knows those are holding cells.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, it is what it is. Open your eyes. It's happening. But people will sit there and go, oh, he's negative. He's okay, whatever. All right, go back to sleep.
Go back to sleep.
Well, it is what it is, man. You can see it. Everybody should be really wide-eyed and looking at what's going on here. If you're reading enough and studying enough and looking around, there's enough factual evidence out there. You should be able to ascertain what's real and what's not to a certain degree. I think common sense just kicks in after that, and you realize, holy crap, these guys are not stopping, and they're killing the businesses in Toronto now.
Well, again, it goes back to the rule of thumb. How is the public sector going to get funding if there's no private sector to fund it? How is the government jobs and the government infrastructure going to get money if there's no more family businesses?
Mike, they don't even care about taxes anymore. This isn't even about any of that. It's not about any of that. This is about an illusion to get to a certain place in the distance. They're taking us there. However, they can lie to us about inflation, lie to us about everything. They're lying about everything to get us to a certain point in the future. That point, I don't think we're going to like. Everything, I think, is just a BS to get us to that point. Oh, we need taxes. Oh, we got to raise taxes. Oh, we're going to send a battleship to Taiwan. Oh, distractions, illusions. There's a very nefarious plan here. Whatever they got to do to keep us from focusing on them and figuring them out, they'll do it. Misdirection, they'll throw all kinds of stuff. I don't believe they even need taxes. Their system is collapsing. It's an illusion. The whole thing is an illusion. So whatever, that's the way I'm looking at it now, because it does not make sense. And again, why is Drunken Miller, Ray Dalio, and those people not saying, you guys are so much in debt? Your unfunded liabilities, just in the U.S., are pushing $250 trillion, just in the U.S. That's counting everything. Like, the whole thing's coming down. And what happened to the pensions that we used to cover? Remember, a year, 2 years ago, we covered the pensions. They were done, but they don't, like, what's happening? Yeah, they're losing control of their bond market, everything. They're trying to hold it down.
Raise interest rates if this keeps going on.
They can't. That's the conundrum they're in. They can't raise rates. They'll probably go negative. Digital. See, there's things coming, but I think there's going to be an event, a big event, something that would be reminiscent of the Great Flood and the Ark.
Something biblical. Of biblical proportions.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Again, we have to get everybody vaxxed. If you know and understand the BS behind that of using those faulty PCR tests, and they're using cases to justify closing and lockdowns, they're using these BS cases. Cases don't equal deaths. But that's all they got to go on is that faulty PCR test, right? And if you really look at it, you can understand, well, this doesn't really make sense. Sure, there's people that are getting sick and they're having long-lasting illnesses from it and all that, but what they've done far outweighs, they cut off the nose to save the face. Well, they cut off the whole head.
This suicide rates in Japan in January of 2021 was higher than all the deaths in COVID in 2020 in Japan. More people died of suicide in 2021 of January, the 1 month of January 2021, than all of the whole year of 2020 from COVID.
They say if you count to 1 trillion, it would take you 36,000 years or something. I don't know. If you counted all the ramifications of what COVID's going to do to mankind, it would take you 1 million years. That doesn't end. The suicides, the divorce, the
defaults,
everything. It's everything. It's divorce. It's crime, theft. It's hunger. It's famine. How many people do we add to famine? 140 million. 140 million? That in itself should be a reason not to lock all this stuff down. You know, look at the layoffs, look at the job losses, look at the, it doesn't stop. You could count up the ramifications of COVID, and you want to weigh that against what in Canada, how many, several hundred died outside long-term care homes?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, but was it the thing is now they're auditing death certificates now in the States. In some states, they're auditing death certificates now. Yeah,
well, I'll tell you another thing. My mom hasn't pretty much left her condominium in a year.
Does she watch Mike in the Night?
She told me no. Well, yeah, she has. She told me there's not really much to be around for anymore. And my friend at work said his parents said the same thing. They're ready to go. And I'm talking to my buddy at work who's now leaving his wife, sold his house, sold his motorcycle. He said it's COVID. Yeah, I can't do it. He said he goes, I can't do it anymore. He goes, I can't take it anymore. I got buddies that are off work on mental stress because of COVID. It's collapsing us. It's taken 2 years off everybody's life. That's what they figure on average. 2 years. Biggest drop since World War II. You know, what are these guys doing to us? Like, come on. You know, they don't care. It's all a win-win for them. 20 tons of carbon for every year you're on this planet in the West. Every person's 20 tons of carbon. Well, they took 2 years off me, so that's 40 tons of carbon. Times that by 37 million. You know?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it. I don't believe in this whole climate change thing. I think.
Well, I know, whatever.
That's I don't.
But I'll tell you one thing. Do you believe that we fished our oceans almost dry? Because you can go talk to the fishermen and they'll tell you, yeah, we're not getting any fish. Mm-hmm. You know, they say, okay, so let's take that and use that as our base case. The oceans are dry, you know, and then start looking around the world at everything else and we're adding 80 million a year. That's what they're looking at. And they can't control us. There's too many.
In all fairness, there a lot of the Western countries, okay, like Canada, Japan, Italy, France. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. There's quite a few. There's about 22 countries now that the death rate is higher than the birth rate. The death rate is higher than the birth rate. So more people are dying than being born in a lot of these countries. Right?
Well, they've been killing us for years. But it's too little too late. Mm-hmm. They dropped the sperm count in the Western world by 60%. And it's too little too late. Our lifespans are too long. According to them, 80 years is too long.
Well, yeah. It's this damn sanitation. They made us all germaphobes at birth, like from all these years. We clean. We're always cleaning our meats, cleaning our broccoli and our vegetables and all that stuff. And the sanitation, and Lenny Poo told us when she came on the show, and she made perfect sense. Sanitation is the reason why we live longer. It's not vaccines, not medicine. It's the reason. It's how we keep ourselves clean. We keep ourselves in line. We wash our clothes regularly. We shower daily. So 100 years ago we didn't, right? And that's why the life expectancy is been expanding. It's because we've been a lot cleaner, and we've been avoiding a lot of the germs and stuff.
We also have a way better health care than way back.
A lot of healthcare. Somebody breaks their leg 120 years ago, back in the year 1900.
Yeah, you're done. You're done.
If you broke your leg and you didn't get it properly, they'll have to cut your leg right off because they have no way of you know what I'm saying, right? But to be frank with you, yes, that also. But I'm talking about like the person that doesn't need stitches in their life, that actually lives a nice, fruitful life and dies in their bed. They're living that long because of the sanitation.
Yeah, it plays a big part. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, Lenny Poo said it in the comments. We don't eat poop.
I know a fashion mogul who does.
Are you serial?
You know what? I worked with, I don't want to say who, I worked with this guy who was a personal assistant to a certain fashion mogul who went down for a bunch of charges there. He's in jail. I don't want to say his name. But I'll tell you, man, the stories this guy told me, it's way worse than you ever imagined.
Really?
Yeah, and he does eat poop.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love China.
Yeah.
All right, Raven. I just wanted to bug you for a little bit there.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, sorry I missed your call there.
Doesn't matter.
I'm
Listen,
gonna
I want to get to one more, and then I'll let you go. This is kind of important. So you know how Florida basically didn't really lock down the no distancing. They had the Super Bowl in Florida. Now this is the front page here. They're asking this: why isn't everyone in Florida dead or in the hospital? What is going on?
I don't know.
Well, because this
it changes everywhere. It could be this there or something different over here.
Because in England, they're going through the 25th wave right now, and they can't assemble, they can't do this, they have to go vote, they have to vote mail-in ballots. You know what I'm saying, right?
Well, wouldn't you think that a train that starts in British Columbia, where two guys get on, go 100 miles, then two different guys get on, goes 100 miles, and goes right across Canada, 27 crews, 60, 70 trains a day, don't you think one of them would have got COVID?
Yes, multiple times, yes.
Multiple times. You know, where's all these homeless downtown here? These people should be all getting COVID. They're not getting COVID. I don't know. It's, you know what? My friend's nephew's a doctor, and he called him the other day crying. He said, I'm tired of watching people dying. You know, that's what he said.
Well, what people? Who?
So, he said he's tired of watching. They have COVID patients there, and they do die occasionally. So he's a young kid. He's 29. He's a doctor. So, but he's watched it. So it does affect people. But I'll tell you something. My dad's sick. He's got stage 4 lung cancer, and the flu is an old man's best friend. And my dad's waiting for his best friend to come visit. Because other than that, you know, you sit there and die, and it's not a great death if you don't have something to help you along, right?
I'm sorry.
So they took that away, you know. They made it all so bad that, you know, a lot of those people needed a little nudge, you know. You know, they needed a little nudge on their side, but they took that away and they criminalized it, right? They made it the monster, right? But that was just a fact of life, I think, for a lot of those people. And I think a lot of those people were probably better off, you know? So whatever. It is what it is.
All right.
I'm gonna go tear up the town here, Mike.
All right, Raven. You take care. God bless you, eh?
Okay, have a good one.
Good night.
Bye.
So that is the Raven out of Winnipeg, who is basically I want to see if I can get Lord Humongous on the show real quick. I want to ask him what I was asking him about what I asked the Raven about
The greatest president that God ever created.
Come on, Lord, pick up. I know you're there. You're commenting in the comment section. He's not answering. No problems. I wanted to get him on the show just to ask him real quick that whole thing about what's happening, you know, with the whole Canada wanting to phase out its military. But Raven said we have a Cub Scout, right? Okay, Adam's available. Let's call Adam. Come on, Adam. Adam?
Hello? Can you see me?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy. How you doing?
Good, you?
Good. Hang up or turn off the other side there. I could hear myself talking back to myself here. Do you have the show playing in the background?
Still?
Do you have the show playing in the background? I could hear myself. Well, I don't hear myself anymore.
Can you hear me good? Okay now?
Now I hear you perfect now. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
So how are you doing? Can we show you or you want to hide?
Go ahead, no worries.
All right, so Adam is not hiding. All right, brother, tell us, what's on your mind? What's going on?
Why do we have to hide, right? What do we have to hide from, right?
Well, they'll find you if they want you. If they want you, they'll find you.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like they already have us under their control anyways, right? So.
Where are you?
I'm in Calgary, yeah.
Oh, you're in Calgary. Sorry, I didn't know that. I see a parrot next to you, so I thought maybe you were somewhere in the Caribbean.
No, I wish. Yeah.
Hiding out. So tell us what's on your mind. What's on your mind, Adam? Tell us.
Well, let's give us some points to talk about, and then we'll go from there.
Should Canada phase out its military?
There's no point of for militaries now in any country, right? Like, the media's in control now, right? Like they only go after the weak. Like wars in the past, like what we've seen with Iraq and Libya and Syria, they only go after weak countries because they know that they could take them out. They come with a coalition, right? All the major countries come together, and they're all in on it, right? Like they wipe out the little guy. They take their resources. They take they take their currency. They take their gold. And then that's it, right? But I mean, if when it comes down to fighting like a large country that has a strong military, strong people, they wouldn't dare, right? Like
Iran. Iran is a good country because Iran's got a very powerful military, and I don't think I would never play
the Persian Empire, right? Like. They're a very intelligent people, right? Like they have
I wouldn't play around with Iran. That's one country I wouldn't play games with.
Because they have a program. They've been killing their nuclear scientists. They're trying to provoke them, but they're smart enough. They don't want to play those types of games, right? Like because they'll just use the sectarian card, right? Like they're doing in Iraq. They played the Sunnis and the Shias together. They're doing that in Syria. They're doing that in my country, in Lebanon. They know how to play. And in Libya, they played like they have different types of groups, like Arabs and non-Arabs. Libya had, that whole Maghreb area there in North Africa. They used to have a people before the Arabs came there. And, they knew how to pit them together. And that's how the West plays, right? They find a weakness and then they play on that, right?
And they arm both sides.
Exactly, yeah. They don't want any side to win, right? They just want the country to be destroyed while they put their bases in and then they control the resources. And
America did that in Vietnam, and they realized how expensive it was getting. They had to pull themselves off the gold standard because the Vietnam War was costing them way too much money, and they figured, okay, we can't fight these hot wars ourselves, so let's just pit countries against each other.
Well, in Vietnam, you have the environment there, right? Like the military, the land environment is totally different. They can't fight a war in that
jungle, and they weren't prepared for it. But it cost too much money, so they started these division wars all over the world. And who knows if they
are smarter? The people there are smart. Like it's unfortunate. My people, they're not very smart. I don't know. They know how to play them very well. The Arabs, right? Like our cultures, back in history, we've been fighting each other, right? Like the Bedouin tribes, right? Like I don't know if you've watched videos or that, but they've always been fighting and feuding over who knows what, and they know how to manipulate our people quite well. But in Vietnam, the people there are smart. Like they know, like it's if we lose our country, we're gonna lose, right? So they're smart people when it comes down to that, right?
In the end, where do you see housing going? Like you're in Calgary, is it heating? Is the market heating up there? In Alberta?
Yeah, it's heating up. Like I disagree with you on the housing market in Alberta. I mean, it has nothing to do with foreign investors, but in BC I do agree. In Ontario I do agree, but we don't have a strong Asian influence here. Like the Asian.
What you guys have with Quebec, Manitoba, Alberta, and Saskatoon have in common is they're housing migrants that can't afford to live in Ontario or moving into those provinces.
Yeah, we're not seeing that here. Here it's mainly the housing is booming because for one thing, our inventory is low. Nobody wants to to move with this pandemic that they have people there. They have people scared, locked up. If they leave, if they sell their house, where are they going to go? Right? People are losing their jobs here in Alberta. The economy here is it's been terrible for a long number of years now. But but we have we have the perfect storm. The interest rate is low. People are are just taking advantage of that. The banks are giving people any money just to keep the system going as long as they can, and people are speculating, right? Like, just like they're speculating in the stock market. They're, look at the price of cars. You can't even buy a used car. The used car market is going up. Everything, all assets are going up.
Hockey cards.
Anything, anything where people can park their cars is better than they're getting a better return now, right? So.
Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, do you think do you see them keeping this going for much longer, or is there something else in the works?
No, this is going to go on for a long time. Like, they have an agenda, definitely. Like they want to, the way I see it, they want to kill as many people as they can. They're trying to kill the older people off so they can take their pensions. They want to, they're keeping us in fear. They're giving us numbers that we have no way of validating.
Right. That's the problem.
Right. Like they control the narrative, right? The media is on their side. We can't do anything. If you try to go into a grocery store not wearing a mask, they have us pitted against each other. Like, your fellow citizen will look at you like you're some deranged lunatic. Like, why aren't you wearing a mask? Like, you're going to eradicate the whole store, right? Just by you not wearing a mask. I have no idea what's going on.
But you know what? I'm going to call the creators of South Park and ask them to do a COVID-19 Florida episode where they're going to, I kind of wrote out a little bit of script where the characters from South Park will have to move to Florida if they want to survive COVID because nobody's dying or anyone's in the hospital there from it.
Exactly. I just took it's warming up here in Calgary, and I took a stroll down a major,
Boulevard
street where there's bars and things like that, and people were sitting on the patios. It's like, how is an outdoor going to save you, from protect you from this so-called, deadly pandemic that's going around? Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, people are sitting outside. They're all the bars are crowded. They're all on the patios, inside, outside. How is that any different than a small business, right? Like,
the small businesses are under attack, and now let me ask you this. I've asked many people the same question. I'm going to ask you, who the hell is going to fund the public sector if there's no more private sector paying taxes, or the mom and pops and the small businesses that actually fund the infrastructure? How the hell are they going to fund our doctors, our garbage men, our police? Who's paying for that if there's no more private sector?
In my opinion, I don't think currency or money means nothing anymore. Like, they're printing and printing. They could print till infinity, right? Like, our dollar has no value anymore. Nothing. Look, like I said, who can afford the price of housing? And in major cities, they want us to leave the major cities. They want people to leave. There's no jobs in the cities. They want people to leave and go like you did, left the major city, went to a small town, but the small towns have no services, right? Like, so they know they have a plan. They want people to leave the cities, make it so expensive that, that only the certain people can afford it. And then, use this.
That video I did with that 800 square foot bungalow for $3 million.
Yeah, like, people should, even in Calgary, like the jobs are gone. The high paying jobs are gone. The only thing that's left is the minimum wage. Like myself, I could be losing my job by summertime, and I'm in IT, and I've been there for 20 years. I'm not going to find a high paying job like that anymore. And the older you get, the less desirable you are to these employers. That nobody wants you anymore when you're old. They want the young person that they can dictate, move, tell them stay up till midnight working. Don't, you're not allowed to claim overtime. that's the older person wouldn't accept the minimum wage for the amount of experience they have.
Right.
But they don't want you, right? They want the young person. They can manipulate you, tell you this is how much we're going to pay you, and they're grateful for that because that's all there is, right? And nobody else is going to hire them, right? Like,
so
they think there's going to be a future, but I don't see there's going to be a future. Even for people that are programmers like myself, there will not be a future for them. AI is going to take over. There's going to be less and less people needed to do the same job. Like for myself, they let 8 members of my team go 3 years ago, and I've been doing 8 people's job by myself for no extra pay, no overtime. And they say, well, be grateful you have a job, right? Like, how fair is that, right? Like, that's the future that I'm afraid for my children. Like, what are they going to be up against when they enter the workforce? Like, what's going to be there? I don't see a future. And I think that they created CERB for a reason. It was tested many years ago, but they created CERB and they implemented CERB to see how it's going to work. Just like Trudeau said, this pandemic gave us the opportunity to do things that we could never do before, right? Like, these are all subliminal messages that they're sending out there, right? Like, they're telling us we control the show, and they created CERB, they implemented CERB, which is basically the UBI. That's where they're going to give people so that people don't riot. They're just going to give them money and tell them, stay home, skip the dishes, right? And watch TV, and that's it. That's your future. While they go do whatever they're going to do. They're going to hyperinflate everything, get people sucked into Bitcoin, into housing, and then just, flip the switch and take over everybody's assets. And you can't do anything about it. Like, we can look what they did in the stock market. Like, when they see things going the way they don't want, they switch the stock market off and they don't allow trading. Like, how fair is that?
Yeah, because when the big guys lose, they're not supposed to be losing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, look what the people tried to do in GameStop a couple of months ago.
Yep.
They said, no, that's not fair. Like, how is that not fair? Like, how come it's only fair for the elites? If you and I were to try to do that, like, or print money or that, they would lock us in jail.
Yeah. If a country gets into trouble, they just print money to pay their bills and their deficits. If me and you get in trouble, we print money. We'll be sitting in a jail cell together.
Exactly. Like, how fair is that? Like, and people aren't complaining. Like, people should be complaining, like you mentioned. Like, why is housing so expensive? We cannot live. Why is groceries going up? Why is gas gas going up? Like, in Calgary right now, we're at 121 and 121.9. Like, we should be like at 40 cents, man. Like, there's no economy here. Like, you go out on the streets, there's not very many cars out there.
Scary.
We're being sucked dry. Like, there's not going to be anything left of us, man. Like, and nobody's complaining. We just like continue like zombies. Like, how, like, we're lost as a civilization. Like, they have us where they want us. They have us pitted against each other, right? Like,
families are turning against each other.
Yeah, like, if you think your opinion doesn't count, it's only it's a one-way street. Like, whatever the media tells you, that's Adam, the right way.
Adam, never mind opinion. Asking a concrete question, like just a concrete, not opinion, just saying, oh, hi, this thing hasn't been tested for more than 6 months. Is this okay for us to take? Oh, you're a racist.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and that's it. Like, if we try to speak up, they'll shut our channels down. They'll come pay us a visit. Right. Like, we're done. Like, if we don't collectively stand up and put our necks out there, they're just going to keep stepping over us, right? They're going to keep putting their proverbial boot on our necks until we give up, right? People aren't complaining, saying, look, housing is unaffordable, change it.
We should be asking for free housing.
Yeah, we're not asking for a free house, but I mean, just like you said, like, our wages aren't keeping up. There's no way that people can afford the price of housing.
Basic shelter.
People are living off of credit, off of lines of credit, and that's how they're just hoping that one day things will change. But it's getting worse. It's not getting any better. And I don't see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel. I really don't.
Really? So you feel? I honestly feel, Adam, that we might be seeing, like the Raven was saying, some sort of something in I don't think that the evil will prevail. I think the second we start really losing it and we start losing, where we start surrendering in mass, I think, to be honest with you, there's going to be some sort of biblical an intervention of the sorts of some sort of biblical proportions.
I don't know. I hope you're right, but I don't see it. Like I said, they've been playing with us for far too long. It's not the first time the government's been lying to us. I used to be active in the demonstration scene, when they first when they went to Iraq the second invasion of Iraq to topple Saddam Hussein. You know how they lied. They made these
incubators, all this Mickey Mousing. Yeah,
exactly. He's got these weapons. We know where they are. We know exactly where they are. Yeah, they lied to us point blank. We did demonstrations here in Calgary, the streets of downtown were full. We thought maybe we had, they're demonstrating all over the world because they knew this was wrong. And they hoodwinked us so bad, and people fell for it. Why do people keep falling for the same BS? I have no idea.
We keep Adam?
Just falling in the same hole, and we never learn. You know what I mean?
Adam.
They lied to us then. They killed how many millions of people in Iraq? They dumped depleted uranium into the river systems there, right? To kill people, kill people generations to come. You know what I mean? Look what they did in Syria. Same thing. They caused these people. They got these people to rise up, and in Libya to rise up, and they just pitted us against each other. They gave us weapons. They dropped a lot of bombs in Libya and in Syria, right? The bomb that happened in Lebanon. I don't believe that was a bomb because the way that bomb went off.
The colors.
How it lifted like a mushroom, because I have a video of the same bomb that they used in Syria 3 months prior to that. It's the same way. It exploded the same way. Mm-hmm. And that to me has all the signatures of a
limited nuclear.
It's nuclear in origin, right? A bunker buster bomb, right? They know how to use this stuff, right? The way it leveled, in our countries, just like your country, in Portugal, the buildings there are all concrete, not like paper walls and paper buildings that we have here. Right? It leveled buildings
and then we're talking poured concrete and rebar buildings.
Not look at this. We're paying millions of dollars for walls that can be, for houses that can be blown over by,
And you know what, Adam? They're paying millions of dollars.
Right.
And they're paying millions of dollars for homes in New Zealand. Listen to this. That don't have a heater and insulation.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's crazy. So, you know what?
The material that we have in our homes back home, like the granite and the marble, they're more solid inside than they are outside. You know what I mean? And it leveled them. It leveled them exactly like what you see in their nuclear bomb testing, right? The bomb that they used in Syria was in a flat area, so it didn't do any damage, but you can see the shock waves on the ground in that video. I can send you that, but you'll see exactly the same similarities. But in Lebanon, in Beirut, it just wiped out buildings that,
I saw the wreckage. I commented on it immediately after it happened, and I was immediately assessing the colors and all the right after it happened. And it was I don't think it was even happening for an hour when I reported it on the channel, and kind of looking and assessing the situation. It did not look like what they were saying it was. There was obviously more involved. But Adam, what actually scares me the most is you remember you were talking about how, there was no weapons of mass destruction. There was nothing. They found nothing there. There's nothing there. And I brought this up before, and I brought it up many times, and I want to bring it up one more time. Do you know that maybe 50 to 70 years from now, when you go into the digital archives, did you know that there was weapons of mass destruction there, and then there was and the Americans freed the world? Do you know that's going to change?
The victors will rewrite history, for sure.
None of us will be alive to tell people what really happened. That's the sad part.
Yeah. Exactly. No, but like I said, they lied to us then, and they killed how many millions of people? Like the people that, like the people don't have a voice. The dead people don't have a voice. Like, come on, like where are the people's conscience in this? Like,
I know.
Like humanity is lost already. Like we're done. Like
I think it's time we start calling for something of biblical proportions to start now coming into light, or something like bigger than humanity, something bigger that it's out of our hands now to come in and take over, so to say.
Yeah, exactly. Something. Hopefully that'll come. But like we've had in history, we've had probably worse times than now. But
of course, yeah.
And there was no hidden hand that that got involved then, right? Like I'm a religious person too. Like we have from the Muslim community, like just like the Bible and all that. There are cases with that there, in the Bible, in the Quran, that do mention that hidden hands will come, but not now. I think we're going to see worse things to come for that to happen, right? Like.
I hope there's something, because, we've been playing this out for a while now, and I mean, what's going to happen in 5 years, like 10 years?
Well, we have the power. Like, I don't know why we need a hidden hand. We have the power to wake up and do it. Like, I mean, like there was protest today in Vancouver, Press for Truth. Like people were out saying, open up the businesses. What is this crap? Like, there was this lady that was saying. They told her, you can't have anybody inside your restaurant. She said, okay, can I have a tent outside? She's like, the officer said, yes. Can this tent have walls? Yes. So just a few things like that. And, like, can it have walls? Can it have, I don't know what she was saying. And then, okay. Can the people not wear masks if this is the case? If I have these conditions? And they said yes. So then what's the difference then? What's the difference between somebody coming into my store? I have walls and I have...
well, inside your store, you have an air filter that filters your air, circulating air.
Yeah. And I guess somebody was saying that they caught the health minister in BC in a trying to catch a...
helicopter or something.
In a helicopter, yeah, not wearing a mask. How can... they tell us to stay at home, but then, they're going out and having vacations and, they got busted, during the Christmas holidays.
Adam, I know you follow the channel. Now I want to ask you something. We've been talking about England, and do you think they're going to Englandize Canada if you travel, yes, a $5,000 fine, no more protesting, no more this, and the police can come in your house and do whatever. That whole stop the bill, kill the bill protests right now that they're having in London today, and they've been having it all weekend long. And every major city in England has been protesting this, and kill the bill. Do you think they're going to start pushing Canada towards that $5,000 fine if you leave the country?
Yeah, they don't want anybody to leave. Yeah, they want us. There's a reason for that. They want people to stay here and not take their money away from this country, right? Like, so they can seize it all, right? Like, they want us under their control. That's it. Like, and they're trying to destroy every country, so there's no place for us to leave. Like, I can't go back to my country. My country's economically destroyed. Like, and they're trying to play the sectarian card there, right? So people can just get out on the streets and start killing based on religion, and so there's nowhere to go. Like, it's not going to be green pastures anywhere you go. And I think every country is in on this. Like I said, it's, I think they're paying off all these politicians in every country. The IMF is just to keep this thing going. Like, we'll keep printing and we'll give you money. You know, they're not giving money to the people; they're giving money to the politicians. These corrupt leaders. Like, we'll give you money. Just play this game with us. Right? Keep this narrative going. Right? Like, and then you won't be able to. You know, we're going to be forced to stay where we are. They're going to lock us down, make people like mentally unstable.
Well, more people died in January of 2021 in Japan of suicide than they did of COVID in all of 2020.
Exactly. Like, they'll just make us go crazy, and then they'll just give us the UBI and tell us stay at home. There's no more work for you. Right. There's only a certain amount of jobs. There isn't jobs for everybody. You know, just to keep people, you know, from going on the streets and actually, like, you know, committing crime and whatever, just to get by. But that's our future, Mike. Like, you know, it's going to get worse from here on in. Like, this vaccine that they created like, you know, miraculously. How did they do this in such a short period of time when they don't have a vaccine for the flu, right? The common flu. Yeah. We have to take the flu shot every year. This is going to be the same thing. We're going to have to take this so-called shot every year. We have to wear the mask all the time, be in constant fear, you know, and that's it. Like, they have, and if we don't change ourselves and actually get the courage to go out and do positive change and actually take control, you know, we're going to be done. Like, I mean, and I don't see that happening. Like, there's not enough of us that are awake to make any change.
Well, I think things will start. Well, I think things will start wearing off, Adam, because nowadays, if people call me a racist, I would be like, that's nice, but just don't call me a toaster. But, you know, it doesn't even mean anything anymore. Like, none of these words have zero meaning anymore. So it's almost like, yeah, well, a lot of people were scared to speak up. There'd be fear of being labeled as a racist. Now, nobody really cares anymore. You know, people are, I'm going to lose my job anyway, so who cares, you know? So you're going to see a lot of recklessness happening, too. And I don't know. I just hope that on my end, I hope that there's some sort of biblical proportion intervention that stops the world and makes us stop and look at each other and actually see, you know, and actually maybe wake up from this nightmare we've been in for the last year.
Yeah, well, you know, I agree, man. That's the only thing that I can see that can change.
A meteor hits the earth, or
the sun flares or something to bring down. Like, this technology is destroying everything. It's destroying the family, right? Like, you know, it's taking over our lives. We can't live without it, and they know. Like, they created this technology. They've had this technology before they implemented it, right, on the masses. They know its power, that the power that it has on our children, on our mentally, right, on our mental state. You know, our lives are our phones these days, right, and technology in general, right. Like, if we lose our phone, we lost our life now. And they have us where they want us, right, and now they can use this technology to install stuff on it that we don't see, like whatever's installing in the background, we can't see backdoors, what it's doing to us, what it's monitoring. Remember the Samsung smart TVs that were that were videoing us when it was powered off?
I love that stuff. Alex Jones was talking about that.
How could you do that? Like, how could a company do that and not get like charged and dismantled, right? Like you said, like we were talking, like if you and I were to try to do that, we'd be locked up. Like, how can companies, because they're so powerful, right? They can do anything without any repercussions, right? Like, you know, and it's true. Like, I had an old Samsung phone that, you know, I saw videos of people saying, oh, the GPS is attached, the antenna is attached directly to the battery. Even if you turn it off, it's still using power. It can still monitor where you are. It can track where you are. I took my phone apart, and lo and behold, the antenna was attached to the battery.
Wow.
Physically attached to the battery. So even if it's off, it's still sending out a signal. Like, how can these companies do that? It's like they have too much control. Like, we're going to be controlled by Google, Amazon, right? Like all them these major tech companies, and that's it. Like, all these little guys are going to be gone, right? Like, and they're going to control the media. They have so much power, right? Like, they're bottom. The politicians, they bottom. They bottom.
One big telecom company buy the other one in Canada last week.
Yeah, they're going to do it. Rogers and Shaw. They're going to do that, right? Like they want only a certain number of companies to control the, to be in power, and because they can't control all these small little guys, right? Like, there's too much. Like, if they have power centralized, it's easy for them to manage.
Yeah.
That's the way they want it. They want a few number of companies, and they control our whole environment, right? Like what we see, they tell us what to eat, right? Our programming is all coming from them.
And now they're promoting to eat human flesh.
Yeah, why not, right? Like, there's enough.
I saw a few Mike in the Nights ago. They were actually.
Yeah, I watch your show regularly. No, it's there's enough of people out there that'll, they swallow everything hook, line, and sinker, right? Like, we're being outnumbered, Mike. That's it. Like, the people that know what's going on, we're being ostracized. We're being pushed to the side, right? They know who we are. They monitor us. They watch us. They'll come knocking on the door, and they'll come and take us. And our neighbors will just look helplessly as they do that, right? So we're in trouble. Like, look at the protests in Vancouver. Vancouver, there was only 1,000 people out on the streets. Like, that tells you everything right there, right?
I'm surprised because a lot of people don't live there anymore since the housing affordability crisis.
Yeah, and there's only 1,000 small business owners that were out there protesting. Only 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, man. That tells you everything right there. Like, they have us occupied with too many things in our lives. We have no time to focus on anything else, right? Like,
yeah.
And they know that they played this game like the Raven said. They masterfully played this game properly. They made sure that they had things lined up exactly the way it's supposed to be, and they know the human psyche, how it operates, right? They know that there's two sides to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the majority of the people side with what they see, what they hear, right, from authority figures, right? They don't question the narrative.
Well, if you do, you're a racist.
Yeah.
And if you're not a racist, you are a conspiracy theorist.
Exactly. Yeah.
And if you ask a question about why am I taking this vaccine, really has it really been tested? You are a conspiracy theorist nut job.
Exactly. Yeah.
So. And
these are valid questions. I mean, like, and it's already proven it. Like, already the people should be out on the streets. How come AstraZeneca has been giving, people major side effects like blood clotting? Like, people should be already on the streets and saying, "Hey, I'm not taking this shot anymore."
Yeah.
You need to go back to the drawing board and rethink this thing. I'm not, if this is what came out in such a short period of time, what's going to come out, a year from now, 5 years from now, right? Like, what other side effects are we going to come across? By then, it's going to be too late, right? Like, whatever's in our system is going to be doing what they planned for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways, Adam, I'm going to let you go. We've been talking for a good 40 minutes now, and I really appreciate you calling in. You called before, but we never saw you.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Exactly.
So now we saw you, so we kind of know you now. So that's good. Thanks for calling and showing us, and not being scared of the, I guess of the, you know what I mean, right?
There's no being scared has left a long time ago. That's it. Like there's nothing to be scared about any longer, right? Like we're all in this together. If we don't come together and work together, we're done. We're done.
100%. All right, Adam, thank you so much for coming on the show, and God bless you.
All right, God bless you too. Take care.
Bye.
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 Hi. That is Adam out of Calgary in the province of Alberta. Woo! Mike in the Night's going strong tonight, people. Everyone in the Layla is saying, great call, Adam. Yeah, Adam's a great addition to call in and weigh in on what's going on in the province of Alberta. Whoa, Ralphie sent me a photo. What is this? Okay, I'm trying to open this message. So Ralphie sent me a photo out of New Zealand here. Okay, what is this? Okay, let's read this here. This is in a, it looks like it's in a subway in New Zealand. All right, who's calling here? Ralphie?
Hey man, how's it going?
It's going good. I'm
Happy
trying
Easter.
to read. I'm trying to read the thing you sent me. That sign.
Is that the one with the vet sign?
What does that say?
Well, I can't read it right now, but it's basically saying that the Labor government is purposefully restricting professionals coming into the country, which is creating a shortage in places like hospitals. And in this case, it was the vet, because I was checking in my dog, because as you can see, I'm on holiday now. So, but yeah, just the artificial shortage. I showed you that poster as well about the measles one. Did you see that one as well?
Yeah, I was looking at that one, but the problem is I couldn't you called me. I was reading it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it stopped
called you
me
too
from
soon,
reading
did I?
what the sign said. What did that sign say? Let me see if I can pull it up here. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can pull it up here while I'm on the phone
pull it
with
up.
you. Just I think I could. Hold on. Let me go to this. No, it keeps although chat. All right, let me read this real quick. All right, let me full screen this so people could see. Be the guardian of the future. Age 15 to 30, get immunized against measles to protect your what? Community.
Like basically glorifying it for that youth target, you know what I mean?
For the future generations from harm, it's free. Your family doctor participating in participating pharmacies. So they're getting people to join the club, I guess, to get immunized.
But it's targeting the youth. It's youth targeted. Because you know it's like being the superhero.
Oh, so
but here's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend, a really close friend that I'm on holiday with at the moment, and he was saying that his granddad or something like that,
mm-hmm.
two of their friends actually passed away.
Whoa! How were they old?
They were about like 50. Oh no, he was saying 64.
Okay.
And so and they're contemplating, because I've always been sort of anti it, and
hello? Get closer to the Wi-Fi signal. I think the data in New Zealand is not that good. Ralphie, we can't hear you, buddy. We can't hear Ralphie. We lost Ralphie. Ralphie froze up on us, guys. Let me see what that other sign says. Yeah, this is the other sign he sent us here. I think we should take a look at this, because they'll be coming to a country near you. So what does it say there? The Labor government's border control policy of not allowing professionals into New Zealand has resulted in us not being able to recruit additional veterinarians. Wow. So I think what's happening is they're stopping professionals from coming in to the country to work. No worries, Ralphie. Let me call Lord Humongous. He called me 3 times.
Tiffany.
All right. Lord Humongous is not picking up the phone. I just called him back. Something's up with Skype. Okay. So he's not picking up the phone. I hope he's okay. He tried calling me 3 times while I was on the phone with Ralphie. So we got Liam. I think he's still in... I don't know if he's in Thailand still. Yeah, something weird is happening with Skype. All right, here's Lord Humongous. Yo, Lord, what's up, buddy?
Hey, I finally got you.
You've been trying to reach me. It's a lot tougher to get to the president.
President? I don't want to be getting the president no more.
Okay, so what's on your mind? You obviously got something you need to tell us.
Well, no, you were trying to call me earlier, and I was trying to call you back. And
I just wanted to get your opinion on something.
Yeah.
Canada.
Shoot.
So the Canadian government, right here in full screen, NDP to debate phasing out Canada's armed forces at policy. Does Canada need armed forces? And if so, should we at least have our own standing army?
Oh, of course. I mean, I love the snowbirds. You know, your Air Force. They're cool. We got to have, you know, what planes were they flying? Those older jets? I forget what they were called.
I don't know what we have in our Air Force, to be honest. I really don't know what's in the Canadian Air Force.
Canada and the U.S. have a really good relationship at NORAD. You know, there's a joint task force there.
Sure. But what if we don't have anything to contribute to it?
Well, do you guys ever contribute anything to us?
Well, I don't know. Water, wood, electricity to California comes from Canada.
Yeah, you used to give us oil too until who was that shut that pipeline deal down?
Your friend. I can't go up the stairs 3 times.
By going up the stairs 3 times?
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo.
My friend. Oh man, yeah.
China.
It's a mess, man. The whole system is collapsing, like Raven said. People just don't see it. They don't see it until it's too late, you know, and they put too much faith in technology and man. That's the problem.
Our last caller just pretty much summed it up.
Yeah, he was good. Is that Adam?
Yeah, Adam's really good.
Yeah
he's awake. He's awake.
Yeah, and then there's Fruity Loops, of course. I always like hearing him chime in, you know, about the market stuff. But I just don't understand. I don't agree with you on the Amerifornia thing, man. I really see, like, you know, how Raven was talking about everything collapsing internally. You know, real estate market is not going to hold up, man.
Well, it wasn't supposed to hold up from 2010 in Canada when people living in Vancouver were all selling their properties in 2010 after the Olympics thinking the market was going to correct. But no, it kept going from 2010 and we're in 2021 with a pandemic. And this is just not Canada. This is Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the UK, and all your blue states will keep going up. Now your whole country is going to be blue.
That's because of the whole dollar standard, Nixon taking us off of the gold standard. Everything's tied to that dollar. What they call the dollar, you know. And it's really been going on since 71. You know, that's why Paul Volcker had to raise interest rates to 18% on houses. You know, a house would cost you $20,000, but you're going to get the credit, and that's how they control. That's why I talk, you know, Raven's worried about his credit. I'm like, those credit markets are just as rigged as anything else. Every market is so manipulated and rigged by these controllers of the financial system. The suppression of real money, gold and silver, the markets. You can't even get a fair deal or a fair value on precious metals.
Well, everything's way over spot.
Well, yeah, but the spot price is the bogus price. It's the Crimex price. It's suppressed by the bullion banks.
Oh yeah, silver should be at $300-400 an ounce.
Easily, and
conservative with that price too.
But the fact that silver is such a precious commodity that it's used in all this technology, everything, why isn't Apple trying to corner that market? Or why isn't Elon Musk that needs all this, precious metals for his EV utopia dream? And it's all going to Texas. I think they're trying to turn Texas into one giant battery.
They are. I don't know if you saw my video about how Texas is starting to get Texas grid is being economically taken over.
Yeah, and then you have these carbon Fruit Loops for the last 40 years, like Al Gore and the carbon.
But what is it? What is it? Global warming? Is it climate change? Is it ozone layer defense? That's what they used to call it back in the 80s. The ozone layer defense squad, where they defended the ozone layer and protected it from and then it was climate change. No. Then it was global warming. Then it was climate change.
Yeah, it's a psyop to drain whatever wealth that you go work for that you think is wealth out of your pocket through taxation and everything else.
It's like calling it the sun's gonna come up in the morning stage. Oh my God, I got the sickness. What sickness? The sun came up in the morning sickness. I'm sick. Yeah. What do you mean?
That's because you didn't get enough vitamin D from the sun.
No, but no. The sickness is going to called when the sun comes up in the morning. You're going to get it's a sickness. Oh my God! I got to stay in the darkness now. People will be like, "Oh, I don't want to get the sun comes up in the morning sickness."
That will be the Corona ejection part 2.
Yeah. They'll like calling it climate change. It's the same thing like calling it. I flick the switch and my light comes on. There's no debating that.
The part I don't get is that all of us as people, right, inside of this technology and this computing and everything, all the data is corrupted and manipulated. So how can you trust any of it?
Yeah.
Computing is not a good thing. When you have a guy like Bill Gates that made Microsoft and coding, he actually stole the code. It's just ones and zeros. And they hide their crimes and their deceptions all through that stuff. Mm-hmm. All these big billionaires that you think are these financial experts, they're all into dark magic, man. They follow tarot cards. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in a creator. God is natural.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He shows us through his Fibonacci sequence in mathematics. But people don't know that. They don't study the history on these people like I do. But, it is what it is. But, it's going to come down to a battle of what's real and what's not. You can't eat any of this crypto. You can't eat any of this data. It doesn't grow naturally. Mm-hmm. I think if we want to beat this thing, we have to go back to a more natural state and get rid of this technology, deceptions, and illusions. And it's driving people insane mentally.
You're talking about
operations, Mm-hmm. Cut it out of your life. All this garbage, man. It's just pure garbage. And I think that's the message that God's trying to send to mankind, to wise up and stop following these idiots. And they look up to these people that have these rich people that have trillions upon trillions of funny money. It doesn't mean anything. They all pee the same way, just like presidents, monarchs, kings.
Serfs.
People better wise up. Yeah, serfs, peasants, peons like me.
Well, the monarchy won't exist without the serfs.
That's right. Who's going to wipe their butts, huh? Mm. When they try to eliminate us all, they think their AI robots are going to do that. Well, what happens? What happens when their AI robots break down and they're too stupid to figure it out because they had some engineer build it for them? Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All technology breaks down; it goes obsolete after a while. That's the problem with technology.
Well, it's always been the problem. And now with this quantum computing on the way.
Quantum computing, yeah. quantum finance, quantum fund. Who started the quantum fund? That was your good old buddy George Soros, huh?
Yeah.
The guy that took down the Bank of England and the pound. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they know what they're doing, Mike. It's all a plan. But you got to do the opposite of what they want you to do. And I think sticking with God is the right way, and the Creator.
That's right.
And I won't ever deny that, because I know there's a spiritual battle here. You know, and this life here on earth is not, forever. You know.
I know. I'm on your team 1,000,000,000%. And that's why I put myself out there every week, do my show. And
your show's a big success, whether you think so or not, because there's a lot more people that watch it than you think that do.
Oh, I'm not worried about it. I just know at least that I am doing my part, and I have created discussion, and I've done my best to try and better what I can with what life I have left in me.
Of course, Mike. But you know what's funny about the whole thing is that the people that control these systems, they watch your show too. And there's a lot of people that are in high positions of power that watch our show, and they feel like you were saying, they take our ideas and they run with them.
And you know what the funny part is we don't have much life left in us. I mean, I'm 43. If I get another good 22 years, I'll be really happy. And 22 years goes by fast because I'm 43, and I've seen 20 years go by. Okay?
Oh, yeah. In a heartbeat. In a flash.
Yep. Yeah. And I'm not going to be alive much longer. I mean, in the next, hopefully, if God permits, I could live it to 65, maybe 70. I don't know about 70, but 65. But still, to be really frank with you, I mean, I still don't see what their point. I get it, control. I get it. They want to know what porn I'm looking at. They want to know what size underwear I wear. They want to know who I dated. But what's the point? I'm gonna be gone and dead and forgotten. What's the point? If me, okay, Lord, let's say we lived to 200 years old, 300. Let's say the age expectancy was 300 years. Good life up to 300 years, and you could move around, learn a new language, start in a new country, start over, and then move another 20, 30 years to another country, learn a new language, start over, start another family. I get it. I kind of get why they want to kind of follow you around for so many hundreds of years. But the fact that I'm going to be gone in a wink of an eye, it makes no sense.
It doesn't, Mike. And that's the sad part, is that human beings want to control their human beings. That's why governments exist, I guess, or they become corrupted. They don't want to share. They think that everything it belongs to them. And that's where this hoarding mentality, and I got to get this and I got to get that. I've had a hard life, man. I was born a so-called free American, but I grew up in LA, and that was a rough place to grow up. We weren't rich ever by any means.
We got Kaylin in the comments. Kaylin in the comments is saying, I am tired, Mike. My wife and I attended the protest in Kelowna today, and I am so tired of this fight. I'm not sure we could beat them.
I think we can beat them. I think we are beating them. I think, not necessarily protesting is doing anything anymore. I just think we just need to stop complying on an individual level. And we need to, they break down our communications by censoring, the internet. You got to remember that's all one big digital prison that they created back in the 90s, and they let us, they created the internet because they wanted us to give us our personal data for free. They know everything about every single one of us. There ain't somebody that's out there, don't think you can't be found, because you can. You've been leaving your digital fingerprint since the internet was created, for those that are our age. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, who cares what people say or people do, or people, just like the whole, thing with you on the Dirty or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's why I don't even care anymore, man. It's just like you get to a point where you are tired and you stop caring. And I just don't care anymore, because I don't care about anything. I just care about my family and the time I have, because, time's your most precious resource, and you should spend it with those you love and care about.
Yeah, people are spending more and more time on their time, I'm saying.
They wasted trying to get rich on like cryptocurrency and markets and stocks and bonds, and I can get more funny money.
That's why I keep saying, buy time, don't lose it.
That's right. Or spend your time wisely, you know? Don't psychologically be so in tune with the internet that it overtakes your mind. You got to keep a sound mind in all this stuff. I don't agree with the whole, Raven, on the depopulation, and we have, finite amounts of resources and this and that. Yeah, so what? Who cares? We're all humans,
well, they said
right?
that about oil. That's why I don't believe in this whole thing. They said that, remember 20 years ago, the whole oil story, we're going to run out of oil by 2020. We're going to have no oil. If anything, we have more oil now than we've ever had, and we have oil now until the year 3050, they say.
Well, how many people still buy the lie that oil is a fossil fuel? Do you think there was that many dinosaurs around the Earth?
Never that many dinosaurs. And the Earth, the Earth, I think the Earth's blood is lava and oil.
Mm-hmm. I think it regenerates itself. That's the big lie. Mm-hmm. That's what keeps the gas market going and the oil market going and the dollar going and the petrodollar. It's just all bogus, man. We don't need all these wars. We don't need all these weapons of wars. America's been at war since its inception in 1776. You think any of these other countries, even China or Russia, are seriously going to invade the United States of America? I mean, I don't see them winning that fight, bro. I just don't.
No.
I just think we need to get better spiritually as human beings and forget all these ideologies, man.
That's all
communism,
Mickey Mouse, dude. That's all Mickey Mouse.
National socialism, capitalism. Americans haven't had capitalism since 1873. Mm-hmm. It's been corporate communism, ran by politicians and their greed. Look at those. Raven's right about that. That's who our enemy is. It's your own damn politicians and governments, local governments, state governments attacking us through our own financial monetary system that they give us that we have to use because they say so. But you don't have to use that. That's why I support gold and silver, man, so much. Because you can still acquire it. It's the cheapest asset on the planet. That's real wealth.
Yeah.
So
love is real wealth. True love.
Well, you're dang right about that. Christ love, man.
Unconditional, true, real love is.
Amen to that.
Oh no, it's amen means it's done. No, it's forever. And
it is forever. But amen forever means like indeed. It's like, yeah, exactly. It carries on.
Yeah.
So, all right, my brother. Well, I thought I was trying to call you back. I'm sorry. I don't know what the problem was.
What are you sorry for?
I don't know, man. I got an axle problem.
You're not Canadian. Canadians are sorry for everything. You're not Canadian, so you got nothing to be sorry about.
Yeah, I feel like our countries as superpowers have taken advantage of a lot of different other countries, and we're just as guilty as anybody else. If you want to blame somebody, but don't blame a race or they always they're trying to blame the white guy now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like when I keep saying, "Oh, the Chinese are doing this," the Chinese. I'm talking about the communist and what the communism and what they're forcing their people into. And if I was in China and I accumulated some wealth and I had a family, I would want to get myself out of there too. Especially when my leader declares himself Emperor of China.
For life, yeah, right.
Yeah. So no. So it's what the Chinese have been doing to their people, or the Chinese culture has been doing to their people, and oppressing people, and destroying the fabric. Because China, I mean, when I was a kid, I was always amazed by China, the shrouded in mystery, the cloak of darkness. What is in the Orient? And I was always like infatuated with going to China or seeing what is behind that Great Wall. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Did you heard about the Philippines in the Chinese fleet, right? Did you hear about that little skirmish?
Yes. Yeah, I talked about it the other day. I think I talked about it on Wednesday's show. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's I don't know, man. It's
people need to fight for their own individual freedom, their own independence. I truly believe in that. No matter how tyrannical the government gets in whatever way they get, and just laugh at them, because if you have the instincts to survive naturally, and people will find a way. There's nothing they can trap you in indefinitely. Until they can control your mind. That's the one thing you got to keep saying.
Elizabeth Elizabeth brought something up. Money can't buy you love. It's, that's so true, because there's so many people chasing after the next $1 billion and the next $1 billion, thinking that it's going to give them some sort of freedom and individuality. But if anything, it creates more depression, darkness, and division between themselves and their soul, their family, and everything that they were designed to be in life.
Yeah, but Mike, they're not even chasing money. They don't even know what the definition of money is. They're chasing funny money created.
No, but you get what I'm saying. They're thinking in their minds that this is going to give them some sort of absolute, but there's no absolute.
Crux. That's the crux. Quit chasing these phony dollars.
Can I tell you what absolute is?
Yeah, what? What's that?
Comfort.
The vodka?
Comfort.
The vodka? Oh, comfort, yes.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, when I drink a bottle of Absolute, yeah, I am comfortable.
No, but you know what I'm trying to say. If you are comfortable, then that's what everybody tries to achieve in life. People are like, oh, you have a comic book store. What do you know? I'm like, no, it's where I've been also. And also, I sell comics, and I'm making my life selling comics and board games and cards and trading cards, and I'm making my life doing what I like to do.
But Mike, you can't be 100% comfortable, because even in life, we're meant to have a bit of a struggle, not a totalitarian one, but
no. I understand struggle as in like human loss of family, sickness. Sure. Yeah, I understand that.
Right, but when we become stagnant because of disease, we don't stay active, and they lock us in our house, and it makes us even sicker. What are they? It's like an open air prison.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't let them control your mind. That's the main thing I could tell anybody, that they have been running psychological operations forever. And it doesn't matter if you're in the CIA or whatever intelligence agency or, some banking think tank, how to take over the world. I mean, it's silliness at the end of the day. Yeah. That's all it is. All right,
Lord,
brother.
I'm going to let you go. It's my 3rd hour. God bless you.
God bless. Good night.
Good night. So next week, guys, I'm going to plug next week's show. I appreciate everybody coming on tonight to Mike in the Night, the second coolest show on the internet. I want to do a quick plug for, guys, next week is a big show. We got Peter Leeds on the next Mike in the Night next week, who is here to make a difference. So, guys, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel if you can. The channel doesn't really... It hasn't grown. I think I got 2 subscribers today, which is a huge change. We have a section. We got Liam. We'll get him on the show next week. We'll have him as a guest next week. But here it is, guys. This is a section I created on the channel called Legendary Guests. And here it is right here. We got Alaska Prepper on the show. We had Christina Smallhorn on the show. We had God Rules, Uneducated Economists. So go back and watch some of these older shows. We had Stephen Van Meter on the show. We had all cool people, tons of cool people. And then next week, I'm going to go here. Peter Leeds is up thinking on our Wednesday show when we talk about finance, housing, and markets. I'm going to leave a link here for that. Don't forget to join us next week's show. This is the financial show we do on Wednesdays. Peter Leeds is going to be, we're going to be giving his book away. And then we're going to have Peter Leeds Unchained. So he's going to come on and tell us what's going on Mike in the Night for the first hour. And then we'll have open lines after. So that's next week. We're going to have Peter Leeds on, financial expert, to come on the show and tell us what we should be doing and preparing for and what may happen. And we got Teespring, Facebook. Guys, please just send me stuff on Instagram. I'll eventually see you're trying to message me. I found a way to go into the messages that they're holding back. So go ahead and message me on Instagram. Artbydano.com, not your typical art. Check him out. He's got some pretty cool stuff here. He's actually added a couple of cool stuff here. So, guys, we are past our 3rd hour, so I'm tired, guys. It's been a long day. And Ralphie is calling. Don't forget to check out ralphie.co.New Zealand. Music is from him. If you guys don't mind checking out, I'm going to give you guys... Blunt News sent me $2. Thank you, Blunt News. Guys, go subscribe to Ralphie. Let's get him over 400 subscribers. Thank you, Blunt News, for the $1.99. We'll see tomorrow. Next week we'll get Peter Leeds on. When he's done, I want to get Lenny, not Lenny. I'll get Lenny Poo again, but I want to get Layla on, and I want to get Blunt News on, and kind of get a discussion. I want Alan Howick Alan Howick to call in too, and I want D-Man to call in too. I want D-Man to call into the show also. I would really appreciate that if we could get some of the regulars there in the comments. And I appreciate Adam calling in for the first time. The second time, but we actually got to see him. And you know what the music is. What's coming? It's been 3 hours, my friends. Ralphie, we'll get you on next week, I promise. We'll get you on Wednesday. We'll get you on Wednesday's show. We'll catch up. I want to get Blunt News. I want to get Layla on because she's been sending me some emails. That email was solid she sent me today. Happy Easter, everybody. Now, Blunt News just sent me $3. Adeus, my friends. I'll see you later. Blunt News, thank you. Those $3 plus 2, that's $5. Yeah, it is Easter. Thank you, Lord Humongous. Elizabeth, good night, Elizabeth. God bless you. Have a good Easter. D-Man, thank you for coming on. Mitch Madden, we got to get Mitch back on. We got to get Mitch Madden back on. I'll probably get him on Wednesday's show after Peter leaves. Order Divine Warrior, happy Easter, my brother. D. Gray in the house. Kellen Killen's in the house. Have a good night, buddy. D-Man in the house. Mike Banks in the house. Rossi Khan in the house. Lenny Pooh in the house. As usual, Margie O. Silver Pill Gary. Market Education in the house. Now, Blunt News sent me $10 now. Oh my God. That's 15. What was that? 17. What was that? $17 now? No, 3 plus 10. 13 plus 2 is 15. He's giving me gas money to drive out to Ontario. We got Chris Gunn in the house. Happy Easter. Lux Report. 3 Days of Darkness. Order Divine Warrior. John 23Z in the house. Jeff Salcedo in the house. El Jefe in the house, ese. Yo soy el Jefe, ese. Thank you, Layla. All right, guys, take care. And if you can't take care, please stay safe.